why your actions still echo today. Have you ever stopped to truly wonder if the small things you do really matter? Sometimes it feels like our daily choices just disappear, like a whisper in the wind, right? But here's the thing. What you do today doesn't just vanish into thin air. It creates a kind of echo, a ripple effect that spreads out, touching things far beyond what you can immediately see. Even very old thinkers, long before our time, understood this profound truth. They watched how seemingly small decisions made by one person, or a small group, could slowly but surely change the path of a whole community, sometimes for generations. They recognized that the world we inhabit right now, with all its beauty and its challenges, isn't just a random outcome. No, it's a grand tapestry woven from countless actions and choices made by people who came before us. It's a continuous chain reaction, stretching through history. Think about it like this. Imagine dropping a single, small stone into a calm, still pond. The moment it touches the water, it makes tiny, almost invisible ripples. But those ripples don't just stay in one spot. They spread out, getting wider and wider, touching more and more of the water's surface, reaching the edges of the pond. Your actions are like that stone. A kind word you say to a friend struggling with something, or a helpful hand you offer without being asked. These might seem like small moments, but they can start a ripple of warmth, encouraging others, making them feel seen and valued. That feeling can then spread to others they meet. So every choice you make, every word you speak, every act of kindness you show, or even the unkindness you choose to avoid, sends out its own unique wave. These waves travel further than you might ever realize. They touch other people's lives, shape their feelings, and quietly influence their next moves. And that's why it truly matters. Your actions are not just for this one moment, for this one day. They are quietly, powerfully, building the world of tomorrow, one gentle ripple at a time. Long after you've moved on from that specific moment, it's a quiet legacy, forming the future. The secret to being happy, even when life sucks. Have you ever wondered if there's a trick to feeling okay, even when everything around you feels totally unfair, or just plain bad? Like when you get a bad grade, or a friend lets you down, or something you really wanted just doesn't happen. It feels like happiness should just disappear then, right? But here's the thing. It doesn't have to. Ancient thinkers, like a guy named Epictetus from way back in Greece, thought a lot about this. He wasn't some rich king. He was actually born a slave, but he found a deep kind of peace. He realized that we can't always control what happens to us. We can't stop a rainy day, or change what someone else says, or make a test easier. But, and this is the big but, we can control how we react to those things. We control our own thoughts about them, and our own feelings. Think about it like this. Imagine you're walking to school, and suddenly it starts raining hard. You forgot your umbrella. You could get super mad, stomp your feet, complain all the way, and show up to class miserable. Or, you could shrug, maybe even laugh at how silly it is, and decide to just deal with being a bit wet. You still get wet either way, but one choice makes your morning feel worse. The other lets you move on with a bit of calm. This isn't about pretending bad things aren't bad. It's about understanding that our happiness doesn't have to be smashed by outside problems. It's a quiet strength. It's knowing that even when life throws the worst stuff at you, you still have a say in your mind. You get to choose how much you let it mess with your spirit. And that, in a world full of things we can't control, is a powerful secret indeed. It means a deep kind of happiness can still be found, even in the messy middle of life. How ancient thinkers knew about social media drama. Isn't it strange to think that someone living thousands of years ago, without phones or the internet, could understand the drama we see online every day? Here's the thing. Social media drama isn't really about the apps. It's about people. It's about how we talk, how we judge, and how much we care about what others think. These feelings, they've been around forever. Imagine the ancient Greek marketplaces. These were like the social media feeds of their time. People gathered, shared news, and gossiped. Reputations could be made or ruined by whispered words. Philosophers back then, smart people like Plato, watched human behavior closely. They saw how quickly rumors spread, how people sought praise, and how easy it was to tear someone down. They studied rhetoric, the art of using words to persuade, flatter, or harm. Think about it like this. Have you ever been in a group chat where one message causes a huge argument, or seen a small misunderstanding snowball into a big fight at school? It's like that. One person says something, then another adds to it, and soon everyone is talking. The old thinkers didn't have comment sections, but they saw the same human patterns. They saw the craving for attention, the sting of public shame, and the thrill of popular opinion. What they realized is that while the tools change, our hearts stay the same. We still want to belong. We still worry about being left out. And sometimes, we say things we later regret, just like people did long ago. So, when you see drama online, remember these struggles are not new. They are echoes from a very long time ago, showing us that being human, with all its misanthropy and connection, is a story that keeps repeating. Finding your own path when everyone else follows. Have you ever felt like you're standing at a crossroads, and everyone around you is just walking in one direction? It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Like a quiet whisper inside asking, should I go that way too? Or is there another way for me? This feeling, this moment, is about finding your own path. It's about listening to that quiet whisper. Even when the crowd's footsteps are loud, smart thinkers, philosophers, have pondered this for centuries. People like Socrates, from ancient Greece, weren't afraid to question everything. He didn't just accept what others believed. He asked tough questions, even when it made people uncomfortable. His core idea was know thyself. Truly understand who you are, not just who others expect. Stepping away from the easy, well-worn road takes courage. Think about it like this. Imagine your school hallway right before lunch. Everyone rushes towards the cafeteria, a big, noisy wave of students. But maybe today, you packed your lunch, and you want to sit outside under a tree. Or maybe you want to go to the library for a moment of quiet. Choosing that tree, or that library, when everyone else is heading for pizza, that's your own path. It might feel a little lonely for a second, but then you find your own peace, your own kind of quiet strength. It takes courage, yes, but it also brings a deep sense of calm. When you choose your own direction, you're not just following, you're creating. You're telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that your thoughts, your feelings, your unique spark, truly matter. And in that choice, there's a quiet power, a deep understanding that you are exactly where you are meant to be, walking in your own light. What it means to be truly free. Have you ever felt truly, deeply free? Not just free to pick your own snack or stay up late, but a deeper kind of freedom, a feeling in your gut that you are completely your own, even when things around you get messy. Here's the thing, for a very long time, wise people, like ancient philosophers, have thought about this. They realized true freedom isn't always about what you can do on the outside. It's more about what you choose to do on the inside. Think about someone stuck in a tough spot they can't change. You might think they aren't free at all. But some early thinkers, like the Stoics, believed something powerful. They said you can always be free in your mind, no matter what happens to your body or your things. You are free to choose your attitude, your response. That's a huge kind of power. Here's what I mean. Imagine a big test that makes you super stressed. You can't just make the test disappear, right? But you can choose how you react. You can let the stress take over, making you anxious and unable to think. Or, you can choose to take a deep breath, focus on what you can control, like studying more or getting good sleep. This might work for you, giving you a quiet sense of control. That choice, that inner strength, is a form of freedom, and that's why it matters. True freedom isn't about having no rules or no problems. It's about understanding you have a powerful choice in how you face those things. It's about finding that calm center inside yourself, where your thoughts and feelings are truly yours. This can help you feel strong and real, no matter what comes your way. Are we born good, or do we learn it? Think about a newborn baby, fresh to the world. Is that tiny person, right then, good? It's a question humans have asked for thousands of years. Are we born with a kind heart and natural goodness deep inside? Or do we arrive like an empty book, and everything we become, every act of kindness or cruelty, is written by the world around us? Long ago, a thinker named John Locke believed we're born like a blank slate. Our experiences, our parents, our friends, the stories we hear, they all teach us. They shape who we become, good or bad. But then, another philosopher, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, felt something different. He thought we are actually born naturally good, like a gentle spirit. It's society, he believed, that can sometimes corrupt us, making us selfish or unkind. Here's the thing. Think about when a friend offers you their last cookie, even if they really want it. Did they do that because their parents taught them to share? Or was there a tiny, soft voice inside them, a natural feeling that said, this is the right thing to do? It's like when a little kid instinctively comforts another crying child. No one usually teaches a toddler that exact moment. It often just happens. Maybe the truth isn't one or the other, but a mix. Maybe we have a spark of something good inside us from the start. And maybe, just maybe, the world around us, the love we received, and the choices we make, help that spark grow into a bright, steady flame. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the power we each hold to choose kindness every single day. The old idea that explains why you like your stuff. Have you ever wondered why some things just feel different? Not just a phone, but your phone. Not just a jacket, but your jacket. There's something special about the stuff we own, isn't there? It's more than just an object. It often holds a piece of us. For centuries, smart people called philosophers have thought about this. They asked, why do we feel so connected to our belongings? One old idea, one that still makes a lot of sense today, is that when we put our effort, our time, or even just our feelings into something, it becomes a part of us. It's like we pour a tiny bit of our soul into it. Think about that old worn-out t-shirt from a summer camp or a family trip. It might have holes, it might be faded, but you'd never throw it away. Why? It's not about the fabric or the design anymore. It's about the laughter shared, the friendships made, the memories woven into every thread. That t-shirt isn't just cotton, it's a story, your story. Philosophers like John Locke, hundreds of years ago, talked about how when you mix your labor with something, it becomes yours in a deeper way. He thought about land, but we can think about a drawing you spent hours on. Your effort, your creativity, made it unique. It's not just paper and pencil. It's a piece of your imagination. So, here's the thing. The objects around us, big or small, often carry more than their physical form. They carry our past, our hopes, our little acts of creation. They remind us of who we are, where we've been, and what we care about. Maybe the stuff we like so much isn't just about liking the object itself. Maybe it's about liking the reflection of ourselves we see in it. It's a quiet echo of our own lives, living right there with us. And that's pretty amazing, isn't it? How to deal with bullies, ancient style. Have you ever felt that heavy, sinking feeling when someone tries to make you feel small? Maybe they say something mean, or push you around. Not with their hands, but with their words, or their attitude. It hurts, right? It feels like they've taken something precious from you, like your peace, or your confidence. But here's the thing. Ancient philosophers, even thousands of years ago, understood this feeling. They lived in tough times, and they learned how to build an inner strength that no bully, no matter how loud or cruel, could ever break. They taught us that you can't always stop what other people do or say. You can't control their actions. But you absolutely, completely, 100% can control your own reaction. Imagine your mind as your own secret garden. A bully might shout over the fence, throwing rocks and weeds. But you get to decide if those things actually land inside your garden, or if you simply watch them fall outside. Philosophers like the Stoics, for example, believed that our true power comes from protecting our inner world. They focused on what was inside their control. Think about it like this. Someone makes a snide comment about your art project. It stings. It might make you want to throw the project away. But here's what I found. That comment is just sound waves. It's just air moving. You can choose to let it stick to you, like superglue, or you can let it pass by, like a cloud. It's like having an invisible shield around your spirit. Their words hit the shield, but they don't touch you. The ancient thinkers called this building your own inner fortress, a place where their negativity can't reach. So, when those unkind moments happen, remember this quiet wisdom. You have the power to protect your own calm, your own worth, inside that fortress of your mind. It's not about fighting back with anger. It's about a deeper, older kind of strength. It's about choosing not to let anyone else dictate your peace. And that's why it matters. Because your peace, your worth, is yours alone to guard. Why asking questions is cooler than having all answers. Have you ever thought about knowing everything? It sounds cool, but here's the thing. If you knew every answer, what would be left? Life wouldn't be about learning anymore. It would just be still, like a story with no more chapters. Hundreds of years ago, the wise philosopher Socrates said, "I know that I know nothing." What he meant was, the more he learned, the more he realized how much more there was to explore. That humility opened endless possibilities. Think about looking up at the night sky. If you already knew every star and planet's story, would it still spark that quiet awe? No. It's the questions. What else is out there? How far does it go? That truly make the universe feel grand. Those questions are like open invitations to wonder. It's like when you're figuring out a new video game level. The fun isn't just winning. The real joy is in asking, what if I try this move? These small questions push you to see more. Asking questions isn't about being confused. It's about being awake. It's about keeping our minds open, like a window, letting in fresh air. The journey of finding out, that quiet hum of curiosity, is a richer experience than any final answer. It connects us to everything still waiting to be known. It makes us human, truly alive. The power of knowing what you don't know. Have you ever had that quiet moment? Perhaps looking at the stars, and felt how much you don't know. It's a strange, almost overwhelming feeling. That sudden awareness of the unknown, of things you thought you understood, but actually don't. This realization, this feeling, is truly where deep learning begins. It's a powerful secret. Here's the thing about real wisdom. It's not just about collecting facts. It's also about seeing the edges of your own knowledge. It's knowing what questions you haven't even considered. Think about ancient Greece and the philosopher Socrates. People called him the wisest, but he famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." He wasn't ignorant. He meant that understanding his own limits, being humble about what he hadn't grasped, made him incredibly curious. It pushed him to ask questions, to explore. That constant search is how he truly grew. This is like when you're trying to master a new skill, maybe playing an instrument. At first, you feel confident, but then, you hit a wall. You mess up. You realize there are whole techniques you've never heard of. Admitting, "I don't know how to do this yet," isn't a failure. It's the exact moment you open yourself to learning. You look for a tutorial, ask a friend, practice differently, and then, you get better. You grow, not just in skill, but in how you approach challenges. When we pretend to have all the answers, we often shut ourselves off. We stop listening. We might misunderstanding other people's experiences, or the amazing complexities of the world. But when we bravely accept that our understanding is limited, that we have blind spots, it opens a door inside us. It allows for deep humility, a gentle willingness to learn from anywhere. It helps us feel profound wonder about the universe and our own potential to keep discovering. That, in its quiet way, is a beautiful and powerful truth. Is reality just a dream? An old debate. Have you ever woken up from a vivid dream, one so real that for a moment you couldn't tell if it actually happened? That hazy line between dreaming and being awake has fascinated people for thousands of years. How do we truly know what's real and what isn't? Long ago, in places like ancient Greece and China, great thinkers asked the same question. What if everything we see, hear, and feel is just a grand illusion, a shared dream we're all living inside? Think of watching a movie. For 2 hours, you forget the theater. The characters' struggles feel like your own. When the credits roll, reality returns, but for a while, that story was your reality. Our minds are powerful. They can build whole worlds and make them feel alive. This isn't about fear or saying nothing matters. It's about wonder, about realizing how precious each experience is. Every laugh, every tear, every friendship, it all feels real. And that's what makes it meaningful. So maybe the real question isn't, is life real? But what will I do with this reality, with this moment, right here? Why your choices matter more than you think. Have you ever stopped to think about a small decision you made? Maybe it was choosing to say hi to someone new, or picking a certain path on your way home. It feels tiny, right? Like it probably doesn't change much. But here's the thing about choices, even the quiet ones, they're like tiny pebbles dropped into a vast, still lake. The ripple spreads farther than you can ever really see. Many ancient thinkers, like the Stoic philosophers, understood this deep truth. They didn't have cell phones or the internet, but they knew that how we act, what we say, and even what we think, builds our world. They believed our character isn't just born, it's built, brick by brick, by every choice we make. It's not always about big, life-changing moments. It's often about the little, everyday decisions that feel small, but really stack up. Think about it like this. Your brain is a bit like a garden. Every time you choose to practice something, whether it's playing a musical instrument, solving a math problem, or even just being kind when you'd rather be annoyed, you're watering a certain plant. If you keep watering that plant, it grows stronger. Its roots spread, making it a bigger part of your garden. That's how habits form, good or bad. Choosing to put off homework feels good for a moment, but tackling it builds the habit of being responsible. It might not feel like a big deal right then, but those small moments train your brain. So, what does this mean for you? It means you have a quiet power. Every single day, with every thought and action, you are shaping not just your own future, but the world around you in small, important ways. You're building the person you will become, one decision at a time. It's a powerful, sometimes heavy, but ultimately hopeful truth. Your choices truly matter. Learning to control your feelings, not let them control you. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of anger or crushing sadness wash over you, like an ocean current pulling you under? It's a strange and powerful thing, isn't it? These big feelings can make us say words we wish we could snatch back, or do things we regret later. For a moment, it feels like they're in charge, like we're just passengers in our own minds. But here's the thing: many wise people, long ago and even today, came to understand, while we can't always choose what we feel, we can choose what we do with those feelings. Imagine trying to hold on to water in your hands. It just slips away, right? Feelings are a bit like that. Trying to fight them often makes them stronger. But ancient philosophers, people who thought deeply about life, recognized something important. They taught that we possess a quiet power inside us. It's like an inner observer, a calm voice that can watch our emotions swell and fade. Instead of getting completely swept away, they believed we could train ourselves to guide our reactions rather than being controlled. This idea, this inner steering, was central to their wisdom for a peaceful life. Think of it like this: your emotions are like the weather outside your window. Sometimes a storm rages, sometimes a gentle rain falls. You can't stop the rain or make the sun shine, but you can decide if you'll get soaked standing outside, or if you'll find shelter and calmly watch the storm pass. Maybe a friend says something thoughtless, and a hot surge of hurt or anger rises up. That's the storm. Instead of shouting back immediately, you could pause, take a deep breath, let that first strong gust of emotion pass. That pause, that breath, that's your shelter. So here's what I found. Learning to control your feelings isn't about shutting them down or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing them, understanding their messages, and then choosing how you respond. It's about remembering that you are the architect of your inner world, the one who holds the blueprint. Your feelings are powerful, yes, but your ability to choose how you react, that's even more powerful. And that's why it matters. Your peace, your strength, your future, they are truly yours to build. The wisdom of understanding what you can't change. Have you ever felt truly frustrated, really stuck, because something just wouldn't go your way? Maybe a friend said something unkind, or the weather ruined your plans, or you tried hard for a test, but the grade wasn't what you hoped. It's a tough feeling, isn't it? Here's the thing: some parts of life are beyond our reach. We can't control everything. The wisdom of understanding what you can't change is realizing this truth. It's about letting go of the fight against what's fixed, like trying to push a river upstream. Instead, we learn to accept. This isn't giving up. It means choosing where to put our energy. Long ago, thinkers like the Roman philosopher Seneca knew this. He, and many others, noticed much of our sadness comes from wanting the world to be different. They believed peace comes when we can tell the difference, what's truly in our power to change, and what isn't. Then, we focus on what is in our power, our reactions, our efforts, our kindness. Think about the tide coming in and out. You can yell at the ocean to stop, but the tide will keep doing its thing. You can't change the ocean's movement, but you can change your own action. Move your towel up the sand, or decide to enjoy the waves. Maybe even learn to surf and work with the waves. It's about seeing what you can do when faced with something you can't control. So, finding wisdom in what you can't change brings a kind of freedom. It means we stop wasting emotional energy on battles we can't win. Instead, we save that energy for things we truly can influence, like how we treat others, how we learn from mistakes, or how we choose to see the world. It's a quiet strength that helps us navigate life's currents with more peace in our hearts. What if there's a perfect world we can't see? Have you ever looked at the world around you and felt like something was missing, like there should be more, or something better, just out of sight? What if there's more to reality than what our eyes can see or our ears can hear? Imagine a world so perfect, so complete, that our minds can barely imagine it. Long ago, a wise thinker named Plato wondered about this. He thought maybe everything we experience here, every tree, every act of kindness, every shape is just a shadow. It's like watching shadows dance on a cave wall and thinking they are the real thing. But somewhere, out there, is the true, perfect form of that tree, that kindness, that shape. A world of pure ideas, pure goodness, beyond our touch. This isn't about a place you can visit on a map. It's about a deeper reality. A perfect truth that might exist alongside our messy world. Think about a song playing on the radio. You hear the music, right? But the actual sound waves, the invisible radio signals carrying that song, are all around you. You just can't see them. You need the right receiver, the right radio, to tune in and hear it. What if our senses are like a radio that can only pick up one station? What if there are countless other perfect channels all around us, full of beautiful truths and perfect forms, just waiting to be sensed by something more? This isn't about being sad that we can't see it. It's more about a quiet wonder. It makes you think, if such a perfect world exists, even if we can't touch it, does it make our own world, with all its challenges and beauty, feel different? Does it give us hope that there's an ultimate truth, a perfect idea of how things should be? Maybe the longing we sometimes feel for something more, something better, is just a whisper from that unseen place. A gentle reminder that perfection might not be a dream, but a reality waiting just beyond our current reach. And knowing that, even just wondering about it, can make the world we do see feel a little more full of possibilities, a little more meaningful. How friendship was defined thousands of years ago. Have you ever thought about what makes a true friend? It's a feeling we all know, a special connection, a quiet comfort. But here's the thing. People have been asking this exact question for thousands of years. Long before phones, ancient thinkers wondered deeply about friendship and what it meant to truly have someone in your corner. They didn't just see friendship as hanging out. For them, it was much bigger, much more serious. Imagine a world where you couldn't just call for help. Your survival, safety, and happiness often depended entirely on others. So, a friend wasn't just someone you liked. A friend was a partner, someone who shared your path, someone you trusted with your deepest thoughts, even your life itself. This bond was crucial. Take the ancient Greeks. Philosophers like Aristotle talked about friendship as a very specific kind of love. It was a bond built on shared goodness. They believed true friends helped each other become better people. They called it virtuous friendship. This meant choosing friends, not for what you could get, but for who they were, inspiring you to be your best. It was about mutual respect and a shared journey toward a good life. Think about it like this. If you're building a strong, tall tower, you need sturdy blocks, and you need someone to help you place them carefully. Someone who understands the design and wants the tower to stand as much as you do. They're there through tough parts, helping steady things when they wobble. That's what ancient friendship felt like. It was a mutual project, building something strong and meaningful together. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? That deep desire for someone who truly understands you, who genuinely wants the best for you, and helps you grow, that feeling hasn't changed at all. It shows us some things, like the human need for real connection and honest support, are just timeless. What we feel for our best friends today echoes the profound bonds people sought ages ago. Living your best life, according to people who lived forever ago. Have you ever stopped to wonder what it truly means to live a good life? Like, a really full, deep down, happy kind of life. Long before social media or electricity, people asked these same big questions. They weren't just surviving, they searched for lasting peace and joy, no matter the chaos around them. So here's the thing. Many ancient philosophers believed living your best life wasn't about having the most stuff or being popular. The Stoics, thousands of years ago in Greece and Rome, thought happiness came from the inside. They knew you can't control everything that happens to you. You can't stop a storm or change how someone else acts. But here's what I found. You can always control how you react to it. They said real strength was about being wise, brave, and fair. Even when things got tough, think about it like this. Imagine you're playing a video game. You can't control every enemy that pops up, or every glitch that makes you lose. That's just part of the game. But you absolutely can control how you play, your strategy, your attitude when something goes wrong. If you get mad and throw the controller, the game isn't fun. But if you learn, adapt, and keep a cool head, you enjoy the challenge, right? This helps you understand that life works a bit like that. You won't stop bad things from happening, but you can choose how you face them. These thinkers, who lived so long ago, saw that constantly chasing more often leaves us feeling empty. They realized that living well wasn't about endless wanting, but about building a strong mind and a kind heart. It's about finding joy in simple moments, being good to others, and learning to find calm inside yourself, even when the world feels messy. That's why it matters. The power to live your best life has always been, and still is, right inside you. The idea that says you create your own meaning. Have you ever wondered why we're here? Like, truly, deeply wondered if there's a big, secret map for your life already written out somewhere? Here's the thing. Some deep thinkers, people called philosophers, started to think, maybe there isn't. Maybe life doesn't come with a preset meaning, like a toy with instructions. Instead, they believed we create our own meaning. This idea means that what makes your life important, what gives it value, isn't something you find, like a hidden treasure. It's something you build, day by day, choice by choice. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, a French philosopher from a long time ago, explored this. He saw a world where things just are, without a fixed purpose. A tree is a tree, but it doesn't choose to be a tree. But we humans, we do choose. We choose our actions, our beliefs, and what we care about. For them, life can feel a bit scary or empty at first, because there are no rules already set. But then, there's a quiet strength in that. You're not stuck following someone else's script. Think about a blank canvas. It doesn't have a painting on it when you buy it. It's just ... white. But you, the artist, decide what goes on it. You pick the colors, the shapes, the story it tells. The canvas doesn't tell you what to paint. You bring the meaning to it. Or think about your favorite band. They make music that means something to you. That meaning isn't just in the notes. It's in how those notes make you feel, the memories you connect to them. You give that song its special place in your heart. So, this idea isn't about being alone or lost. It's about freedom. It's about knowing that your passions, your kindness, your efforts, they're not small. They're the brushstrokes on your canvas, the melodies in your song. It means you have the power to decide what truly matters to you. And in that power, there's a deep, personal kind of hope. Why being yourself is always the best idea. What if the greatest strength you possess isn't something you learn, but something you already are? It's a question many of us quietly ask, especially when we feel the pull to fit in. Being yourself isn't about being selfish or ignoring others. It's about being deeply true to the unique person inside you. It means letting your own thoughts, your genuine feelings, and your particular quirks shine, instead of hiding them or pretending to be someone else to please the crowd. This can feel scary, but here's the thing, it's where real strength comes from. Think about what wise thinkers have said for thousands of years. The ancient Greek philosopher, Socrates, taught us to know thyself. It sounds simple, but it's a profound idea. He meant we should look inward, understand our own mind and spirit, and then live from that inner truth, not from what others expect, or what's popular. He knew that trying to be someone you're not makes you lose touch with your real self. And that's a sad thing. Imagine a plant trying to be a different kind of plant, a sunflower trying to grow like a rose, or an oak tree trying to be a tiny bush. It just wouldn't work, right? Each plant has its own unique way of growing, its own perfect conditions, its own special beauty. Trying to be something it's not would make it weak, sad, and unable to truly thrive. You are like that plant. You have your own unique sunlight, your own deep roots, your own particular leaves and flowers waiting to bloom. No one else has your exact pattern. When you try to be someone else, you use up so much energy, like swimming against a strong, invisible current. But when you are truly, bravely yourself, you move with the natural flow of who you are. There's a quiet power in that, a deep sense of peace. It frees you to think your own thoughts, to feel your own honest feelings, and to make your own distinct mark on the world. You become a light that only you can be, and that light, in all its unique glory, is absolutely needed. When ancient rules still apply to today's problems. Have you ever wondered if the struggles you face, the big questions in your head, are truly new? Or perhaps, people felt these very same things hundreds, even thousands of years ago. It's a quiet thought, but a powerful one. Some problems never really go out of style. Long before phones or fast cars, thinkers like Plato, Buddha, and Confucius looked at the world. They saw people dealing with anger, sadness, and unfairness, but also trying to live a good life. These wise people deeply understood human hearts. They thought about kindness, courage, and what makes someone truly happy. Their ideas are like guides for living well. Here's the thing. Imagine you're trying to be a good friend, or handle someone who's being unfair. Think about the concept of cause and effect. It's like dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples spread out. If you act with kindness, good things often come back. If you choose anger, that has its own kind of ripple too. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle talked a lot about choices and habits. He said what you do repeatedly, good or bad, shapes who you become. It's not just about one big moment, but all the small ones adding up. That idea isn't dusty history. It's a map for building strong character, day by day, even now. So when you face a challenge, a confusing choice, or a feeling that's hard to name, remember this: you are not the first. The echoes of human experience stretch far back, and in those ancient whispers, in those old rules, you might find a steady hand. You might hear a calm voice, showing you the way forward. It reminds us that we're all part of one big human story, connected across time by the very feelings that make us who we are. The importance of thinking for yourself. Have you ever just agreed with something because everyone else did? It's easy, right, to nod along, to go with the crowd, to let someone else do the hard work of thinking. But here's the thing: true understanding often starts with a quiet question inside you. It begins when you decide to really, truly think for yourself. This isn't about being stubborn or always disagreeing. It's about truly listening to your own mind, weighing ideas, and forming your own opinions. Way back, thousands of years ago, great thinkers like Socrates in ancient Greece knew this. He famously said that the unexamined life is not worth living. He didn't mean you needed to be a genius. He meant you needed to look at your own beliefs, question what you were taught, and decide for yourself what felt true and right. It's about more than remembering facts. It's about forming your own ideas, ones that come from inside you. Think about it like this: imagine you're in a science class, and everyone is told a certain experiment must turn out one way, but your own careful notes show something different. Do you ignore what you saw to fit in, or do you trust your own eyes and mind? Choosing to trust your own independent thought, even when it's different, is brave. It's how new discoveries are made. It's how people stand up for what's right, even when unpopular. It takes courage to step away from the noise and listen to your own thoughts. It takes strength to build your own understanding of the world, quiet brick by quiet brick. And that's why it matters so much. Because when you think for yourself, you don't just learn things. You become someone who can see the world more clearly, feel more deeply, and stand more firmly in your own truth. You become truly, authentically you. How to stay calm in a crazy world. Have you ever felt like the world is just too much, like everything is rushing by, and it's hard to simply breathe? This feeling of being overwhelmed by noise and demands is something many of us know. But here's the thing: while we can't always stop the chaos outside, we can learn to control how we react to it. We can find a quiet strength inside. Long ago, thinkers like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius understood this. His world was full of wars and tough choices, but he taught that our troubles come not from events, but from how we think about them. He learned to look inward, to find a steady place no matter what storms raged around him. It's like a boat on a rough ocean. The waves are huge and scary, but a well-built boat holds steady. Its strength comes from its core, letting it ride the currents. Think about a spinning top. The outside is a blur, moving incredibly fast, but the very tip it spins on, its center, is almost perfectly still. That still point is what we aim for inside. Think about a tough moment in a game or a test. If you panic, you often make mistakes. But if you take a breath, focus, you navigate the challenge better. That brief pause, that mental step back, is your moment of calm. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about creating a quiet space within your mind. It's a place where you can observe the storm without getting drenched by it. It's a gentle act of self-care, protecting your inner peace. So, when the world feels loud, remember you carry a peaceful center. You can always return to it, quiet and strong, ready to face what comes next. The secret to a good life: it's simpler than you think. Have you ever wondered what truly makes a life good? Not just happy for a moment, but truly good. Deep down, for centuries, people have searched for this secret. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosopher Epicurus, weren't focused on grand riches or endless parties. Here's what they found: the best life often comes from quiet joys. It's about finding peace, not chasing thrills. They believed true happiness wasn't about getting everything you want, but about wanting what you already have, or at least, being okay with it. This can help you feel calm inside, even when the world outside is noisy. Think about your favorite snack. Maybe it's a warm cookie or a perfectly ripe apple. The joy isn't in owning a whole bakery. It's in that one bite. Or consider walking outside on a sunny day. The feeling of the sun on your face. The sound of birds. You don't need a huge, expensive trip to feel that goodness. These small, everyday moments, when you really notice them, they add up. It's like how a scientist might look at a single raindrop and see an entire world within it. The big picture is made of many tiny, beautiful details. Many philosophers taught that peace comes from letting go of things you can't control and appreciating the simple, real connections you have. The secret isn't hidden in complicated books or far-off lands. It's here, now. It's in a kind word, a quiet moment, a laugh with a friend. It's in the feeling of being present, right where you are. And that's why it matters. A good life isn't about reaching some finish line. It's about walking through the ordinary days with an open heart, noticing the gentle light all around you. It reminds us that true richness isn't about having more, but about truly seeing what we already possess. Why fairness matters, even when no one's watching. Have you ever really thought about fairness? Not just when a teacher is watching, or your parents are around, but when you're completely on your own, when no one would ever know what you did or didn't do. Here's the thing, that's often when fairness truly matters. It's easy to follow rules when there are consequences, but what about when there aren't any? This is where true character lives. Ancient thinkers understood this. They knew that how you act when the lights are off, when no one's applause or anger can reach you, tells you who you truly are. It shapes your inner world, slowly, like water wearing down a stone. It's about your own integrity, your personal sense of what is right, even if it's just for you. Imagine this. You're walking home after school, and you see a forgotten wallet on the sidewalk. It's thick with cash. No one is around. No one saw you spot it. You could easily pick it up, tuck it away, and go home. No one would ever know. But then, a quiet feeling starts to stir inside you. A thought about the person who lost it, the worry they must be feeling. A part of you knows the right thing to do. Find the owner, maybe turn it into the school office or a nearby store. Choosing to do that, even when it's inconvenient, even when it takes effort, and even when no one praises you for it, that's fairness. And that quiet sense of rightness, that feeling of inner peace you get from choosing the good path, that's its own reward. It builds a kind of trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Because in those moments, you're not just being fair to someone else, you're being fair to the kind of person you want to be. And that's a powerful, quiet strength. Can you really know anything for sure? Have you ever been completely, totally sure about something, only to discover later that you were wrong? Maybe you thought for sure you put your phone in one spot, but it was somewhere else. Or you were positive you saw a friend across the street, but it turned out to be a stranger. That little jolt, that moment of wait. What did I really see? That's a feeling philosophers have wondered about for thousands of years. They asked, can we really know anything for sure? Think about it. Our minds are incredible, but they also rely on our senses. What if our eyes trick us? What if our ears play a part in a misunderstanding? Long ago, smart people started to question everything they thought they knew. They wondered if the world around us was truly real, or if it was all just a complex dream. It wasn't about being paranoid. It was about seeking a deeper truth, something that couldn't be doubted. Here's an example that might help. Imagine you're riding in a car on a really hot day. Up ahead on the road, you see what looks exactly like a puddle of water. You are sure it's there, reflecting the sky. But as you get closer, it just vanishes. What you saw was a mirage, an optical illusion caused by light bending in the heat. Your eyes were tricked. Your mind knew there was water, but there wasn't. This isn't to say we should walk around doubting every single thing. Instead, it's an invitation to stay curious, to stay humble. It reminds us that our personal view of the world, our own understanding, is always growing, and that's okay. It teaches us to be open to new ideas, to consider other perspectives, because maybe there's more to know, more to learn. And that journey of discovery, of constantly questioning and understanding, that's a beautiful thing. The ancient philosopher who knew about fake news. Have you ever heard something, a story or a rumor, that felt so real, so true, but then you found out it wasn't? Maybe a friend told you something about someone, or you saw a post online, and your gut told you it might be off. That strange feeling, that whisper in your mind asking, is this true? It's not new. Humans have grappled with this for thousands of years. Think about a man named Plato. He lived in ancient Greece, a very long time ago. Plato understood this problem deeply. He imagined people chained in a dark cave, facing a wall. Behind them a fire burned, and people walked past, holding up objects. The prisoners couldn't turn around. All they saw were shadows dancing on the wall, shadows of the objects. To them, those shadows were everything. They were their whole world, their truth. They would name the shadows, talk about them, believe them completely. But here's the thing, the shadows weren't real. They were just copies, distorted versions of actual objects. If one of those prisoners was suddenly freed and saw the fire, the objects, and then the world outside the cave, their entire idea of truth would shatter. It would be painful and confusing, but also freeing. And that's why it matters to us today. Imagine a social media feed as your cave wall. We see stories, pictures, videos flashing by. Some are real, some are shadows. They look convincing. They make us feel things, anger, excitement, fear, but they might not be true. Someone might have edited a photo or shared a rumor that's not real at all. Just like those shadows weren't the actual objects, it's a powerful lesson from so long ago. Plato's idea tells us to be brave. We need to question the shadows on our cave walls. We need to look for the fire, to step outside, to seek out the real objects and the bright, sometimes challenging, light of truth. It's about thinking for yourself, not just accepting what you see, but asking, what's really going on? That search, that quiet curiosity, is what helps us find a clearer path in a world full of echoes. What makes a good leader? Old ideas, new relevance. Have you ever watched someone in charge and just felt they were good at it? Or maybe the opposite. It's not just about telling people what to do. It's a quiet strength, a way of guiding, a gentle force that moves things forward, not by pushing, but by showing the path. It's about building something together, stronger than any single person. Long ago, in ancient Greece, thinkers like Plato wrestled with this big question. He didn't just want a king. He imagined a philosopher king, someone wise, someone who loved truth more than power or wealth. This leader wouldn't be perfect, but they would always be seeking what was right. Not someone who knew everything, but someone who cared deeply about justice and the well-being of the people they led. They believed a true leader needed certain virtues, things like courage to face hard choices, fairness in their decisions, and especially wisdom to see beyond the surface. It wasn't about being bossy or having all the answers. It was about seeing clearly and acting for the good of the whole community, putting others first. Think about a sports team. A truly great captain isn't always the fastest runner or the highest scorer. They're the one who keeps spirits up when the team is losing. They listen when teammates are frustrated. They encourage everyone, making each person feel like they belong and can contribute their unique strength. It's like a lighthouse in a dark, stormy night. The lighthouse doesn't yell at the ships. It doesn't promise the waves will stop, but it shines a steady, reliable light, offering clear direction to guide them to safety. That light gives hope when the sea feels endless and confusing. This isn't just an old idea from dusty books or ancient scrolls. It's a fundamental feeling we still search for today. It's that deep comfort when you know someone truly has your back, when they lead with their heart, but also with a clear, steady mind. It touches something ancient inside us, a longing for guidance that feels honest, safe. So, these old voices, whispering from thousands of years ago, they understood something profound. A good leader builds trust, not fear. They help others shine, instead of dimming their light. They remind us that even in a confusing world, a steady hand and a kind heart can light the way for everyone. And that matters. Today more than ever, in our schools, our homes, and our world. Finding joy in small things, an old school lesson. Have you ever waited for something big to happen to feel truly happy? Maybe a perfect vacation, or a huge win, or a future where everything just lines up. We often chase big moments, thinking that's where joy lives. But what if joy isn't a grand destination? What if it's little sparks, hidden in everyday things? Think about people from long ago, like the ancient Greek philosophers. They didn't have video games or social media. Their world was often hard, full of struggle, but many of them, like the Stoics, talked about appreciating simple things. They knew waiting for perfect was a waste. True contentment often comes from noticing small blessings right in front of you. It's about being present, really seeing your world. Here's the thing, our brains look for what's new or exciting. That's good for survival, but sometimes it makes us miss quiet beauty. Imagine a warm mug of hot chocolate on a chilly morning. You feel the warmth, smell the sweetness, hear the quiet. For that moment, everything is okay. That's a small joy. It's like a tiny seed. Given sunlight and water, it doesn't try to be a giant tree overnight. It just grows, steadily, adding small rings year by year. Each ring is a tiny piece of life. When we look for these tiny sparks, they add up. It's not about ignoring problems. It's about giving our hearts a little break, a little light. It helps us remember that even when big things feel overwhelming, beauty and comfort are still woven into our days. This old lesson reminds us, a rich life isn't just about big successes. It's about the gentle art of noticing and truly feeling the small, quiet joys that are always there. And that's why it matters. Why kindness is never a weakness. Have you ever worried that being kind, really kind, might make you seem weak? Like maybe if you're too understanding, or too quick to forgive, people will take advantage. It's a common thought, especially when the world sometimes feels like a tough place where only the strong survive. But here's the thing, kindness isn't a soft spot. It's a deep, quiet power that takes real bravery to use. Think about people who have shaped history, not by fighting, but by building bridges. Long ago, wise thinkers like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a really powerful man, believed that true strength came from within. He wrote about choosing compassion, even when it was hard, seeing it as a sign of inner control, not surrender. It meant not letting anger or fear rule you. That's a huge lesson. Imagine a school project. One person always takes charge, maybe pushing everyone around. Another person listens, offers to help those struggling, and makes sure everyone feels heard. Who do you think builds a stronger, happier team? The one who lifts others up, right? That helper isn't weak. They're strong enough to care more about the group's success than just their own ego. They create a space where everyone feels safe to grow. And it's not just about feelings. When you are kind, your brain actually releases chemicals that make you feel good. And the person you're kind to feels good too. It creates a positive loop that makes things better, not weaker. So, the next time you choose to be understanding, or to offer a helping hand, remember you're not showing weakness. You are showing courage. You are choosing to build a world where everyone can thrive. And that, my friends, is one of the strongest things you can ever do. The big question, what are we even doing here? Have you ever just stopped, looked around, and quietly wondered, what are we even doing here? It's a feeling that creeps in sometimes. Maybe you're staring at your reflection, or watching the clouds, or just lying in bed before sleep. It's not about why you have homework or why you have to clean your room. This is a much bigger, deeper question that touches everything. This idea, what are we even doing here, is something humans have thought about for thousands of years. Long ago, people like the ancient Greeks looked up at the stars and asked the same thing. They weren't just thinking about math or science. They were wrestling with the idea of why we exist at all. Why are we here? Is there a reason? Or do we just happen? These thinkers spent their lives trying to figure out our place in this vast, amazing, sometimes confusing world. Think about it like this. Imagine you're playing a brand new video game, and you haven't read the instructions. You're running around, picking things up, fighting enemies, but deep down, you're not sure what the ultimate goal is. You might be having fun, but there's a part of you that wants to understand the whole purpose. That's a tiny hint of this big question. It's about finding the why behind all the what we do every day. It's about figuring out what gives our lives meaning, what makes our heart feel full, or what makes us feel truly connected to something bigger than ourselves. Here's the thing. There's no single easy answer, and that's okay. Maybe the point isn't to find the perfect answer, but to keep asking the question, to keep looking, to keep trying to figure out what matters most to you. Because in that gentle, curious search, you start to understand yourself and the world just a little bit better, one quiet thought at a time. How to handle change when everything feels different. Have you ever woken up and felt like the world just shifted? Like the old maps in your head don't work anymore? It's a heavy feeling when what was once familiar suddenly feels strange. Maybe your friends are changing, or you're starting a new school, or even something as simple as your favorite show ending. Here's the thing, that deep ache, that feeling of being a little lost, it's real, and it's okay to feel it. For thousands of years, people have felt this way. There was a philosopher named Heraclitus, long ago. He said, you can never step into the same river twice. He meant that everything is always moving, always flowing. The river looks the same, but the water in it is always new. He understood that change isn't something that just happens to us. It's part of everything, all the time. But even knowing that doesn't always make it easier when it's your river that feels different. Think about a time you tried to build a really tall tower with blocks. You get it just right, and it looks perfect. Then, maybe a little bump, or you add one more block, and the whole thing wobbles. It might not fall completely, but it shifts, and you have to figure out how to balance it again, maybe even build it a little differently. Your tower isn't broken, it's just found a new way to stand. This can help you understand that when things change around you, your own inner balance might wobble that. So, when everything feels different, and a little bit scary, remember that feeling lost is part of the journey. It's like being in that flowing river. You can't stop the water, but you can learn to swim with it, to float, or to find a new path along the bank. It means finding new strengths inside yourself you didn't even know were there. And that's why it matters. Why your mind is like a blank slate. Have you ever stopped to wonder how you became you? Not just your looks, but your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams. It's a deep question, isn't it? For a long time, smart thinkers wondered if we were born with all our ideas already in our heads, like a phone preloaded with every app. But here's the thing, many philosophers, like a clever man named John Locke from long ago, believed something different, something simpler and even more beautiful. They imagined our minds, when we're born, as being like a clean, empty page, or a smooth, blank slate. The old Latin phrase for this is tabula rasa, but all it truly means is blank slate. Think of it, no words, no pictures, just pure potential. This idea says we aren't born knowing everything, or even most things. We aren't born with a full set of opinions or fears already settled. Instead, our minds are ready to be written upon. So, how does this page get filled? Every single thing you experience, every sight you see, every sound you hear, every taste, every touch, every lesson, every conversation, all of it leaves a mark. It's like a brand new, empty journal. When you first get it, the pages are waiting, crisp and clean. Then, you write your name, you doodle, you jot down ideas, you make lists. Each entry, each drawing, each story makes that journal uniquely yours. Your mind works much the same way. The people you meet, the books you read, the mistakes you make, the triumphs you celebrate, they all add to your story. They shape your understanding of the world, bit by bit. And that's why it matters. Because if your mind starts empty, then every experience you have, good or bad, builds the unique person you become. It means we are constantly learning, constantly growing, and every day offers a chance to add new, wonderful things to our own incredible story. It reminds us that our journeys are truly our own, shaped by the life we live and the choices we make. The idea that says you're more than just your body. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back is just a part of you, but not all of you? Like there's a deeper, hidden part that isn't made of skin and bones. That feeling, that quiet wonder, is something humans have thought about for thousands of years. It's the idea that your true self, your thoughts, your feelings, your personality, exists beyond just your physical body. Here's the thing, our bodies grow, change, get hurt, and eventually stop working. But what about your memories, your dreams, the way you love someone, or the way you feel joy or sadness? These aren't things you can touch or weigh. You can't point to sadness in your brain and say, there it is. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greeks, and later, a philosopher named René Descartes, really explored this. They asked, if you cut your hair, you're still you. If you lose a tooth, you're still you. So, what exactly is the you that always remains? Think about your favorite video game. You create an avatar, right? It has a certain look, certain powers. But you, the player holding the controller, are not that avatar. You control it. You feel excited or frustrated when it plays. But your actual thoughts, your hopes, your laughter, those are all separate from the pixels on the screen. The avatar is just a way for you to exist in that game world. Our bodies are a bit like those avatars. They're how we move through this world, how people see us. But the real you, your kindness, your wild ideas, your secret worries, your capacity to love, that's something else entirely. It's the player, not just the character. So, this idea isn't just an old thought. It's a quiet whisper that tells us our true worth isn't found in how we look, or how fast we can run. It's found in the unseen depths of our minds, the secret garden of our feelings, the spark that makes us uniquely us. It means you are a whole universe within yourself, a universe of thoughts and dreams that no one can ever fully see. But that makes every single moment you experience real and profound. And that's why it matters to think about it. It makes you feel a little bigger, doesn't it? A little more enduring than just your short time here. Understanding justice, an idea from way back when. Have you ever felt like something just wasn't fair? Like when a rule was broken and no one got in trouble? That feeling, that itch inside you, is a tiny glimpse of something huge. Justice. Justice is about making things right. It's about fairness for everyone, about balancing the scales when they tip. Think of it as a promise. If you do good, good should come to you. If you cause harm, there should be a way to set things straight. It's the idea that our world, our school, our homes, should have a proper order. People have wondered about justice for thousands of years. Way back, ancient thinkers in places like Greece and Egypt sat and talked about what it meant. They didn't have TikTok or video games, but they had big questions. They believed a society couldn't truly work, couldn't feel safe or whole, without justice at its heart. It wasn't just about punishing bad guys. It was about building a world where everyone felt respected and had a chance. Imagine, you and your friend are sharing a bag of chips. Justice is making sure you both get an equal amount. Or if one of you helped by them, maybe they get a little more, but everyone agrees it's fair. Think about a basketball game. If a player fouls someone, a referee calls it. That call, setting the rules straight, is justice in action. It makes the game fair, so everyone knows what to expect, and the game can continue. Without it, the game falls apart, right? Justice isn't always easy to find, and sometimes it feels very far away. But the human heart still searches for it. We want to believe that what is right will win out. It's a quiet hope, a steady whisper that tells us our actions matter, and that we are all part of a larger story where everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. It reminds us that even when things are tough, striving for fairness is always worth it. The courage to stand up for what's right. Have you ever felt that quiet voice inside, telling you something isn't fair, or that someone is being treated badly? It's a feeling we all know, but here's the thing. Listening to that voice and acting on it, that takes true courage. Standing up for what's right isn't always dramatic. It can be quiet. It might mean defending a friend when rumors spread, or simply telling the truth, even when staying silent is easier. It's choosing the harder path, the one that feels honest and just, even when it's scary. It means trusting your moral compass and following it. Think about Socrates, an ancient Greek philosopher. He asked tough questions, making people think about truth and fairness. Even when his ideas made powerful people uncomfortable, he kept speaking. He's remembered for his dedication to truth. Or consider Rosa Parks, who refused to give up her bus seat. Her quiet act sparked a huge civil rights movement. She knew what was right, and she stood firm. It's like when you see someone cheat on a test. You know it's wrong. Your stomach might twist. Telling the teacher feels like a risk. Others might get mad, but not saying anything feels wrong too. The courage to act in that moment, to do what feels right, even with fear. That's what we mean. It's a moment where your inner strength shines. So, this isn't just about heroes from history. It's about the small, daily choices we make. Every time you choose kindness, truth, or fairness, you're practicing that courage. It builds inside you, bit by bit, and that's why it matters. Those brave decisions build a better world, one truthful heart at a time. What if animals could think like us? Imagine for a second that the cat curled on your bed, or the squirrel chattering outside your window, truly understood everything you did. What if they didn't just react to hunger or danger, but thought about their lives, their past, and their future, just like you do? Here's the thing. For a long time, many humans believed animals were simple machines. They moved, they ate, they slept, but they didn't really feel complex emotions or have deep thoughts. But that idea has changed. Now, we often wonder if animals have a kind of inner world, maybe one we can't fully grasp. Many ancient thinkers saw humans as special because we could reason. They thought animals lived only by instinct. But when a dog looks sad after you leave, or elephants mourn their dead, it looks like something more. It looks like a real feeling. If animals could think with our worries and hopes, their world would be much richer, and perhaps heavier too. Consider a bird building a nest. It's amazing, right? They pick the right twigs, weave them perfectly. We see instinct, but what if that bird was planning? This branch isn't strong enough, Or I remember that storm. I need to build this higher. That's how we plan a school project. Thinking ahead, remembering mistakes. We don't just do it, we think it through. So, if animals carried the weight of human-like thoughts, joy, fear, understanding of loss, wouldn't our relationship with them change completely? We'd see them not just as creatures in our world, but as beings, sharing a much deeper experience. That shared understanding might make us treat them with an even softer, more careful hand. How to think clearly, even when things are confusing. Have you ever felt like your brain is a tangled ball of yarn, like 1,000 different thoughts are all shouting at once, and nothing makes sense? It's a feeling everyone knows when the world throws big, confusing questions your way. But here's the thing, even in chaos you can untangle your mind. Thinking clearly isn't about having all answers right away. It's about finding a quiet, steady space inside your head, even when everything outside is loud. It's a superpower you can develop. Long ago, wise people like the ancient Greek thinkers believed true wisdom came from questioning everything, not just what, but why and how. They knew when you're confused, the first step isn't to panic or pretend to understand. The first step is to slow down, to breathe. It's like hitting a pause button on the rush of information. They taught that we often get lost, trying to grasp too much at once, instead of gently breaking it down into smaller pieces. Think about those headphones that always get knotted up in your backpack. You don't yank them hard, right? That just makes the mess worse. Instead, you gently pull one loop, then another. You find the main knot and patiently work it loose, little by little. Your thoughts can be just like that. When a big problem feels overwhelming, maybe a hard science project or a complicated situation with a friend, don't try to solve it all at once. Pick one small strand. What's the smallest piece of this confusion you do understand? Start there. This practice, this gentle untangling of your inner world, isn't just a trick for solving problems. It's a way to feel more in control of your mind, to bring calm into the storm. It's a quiet strength that grows within you. When you learn to think clearly through the fog, you gain a deep, calm confidence. You realize that even when the world spins fast and confusing, you have a steady anchor within yourself, a quiet place where clarity can begin. And that, my friends, is a powerful, comforting truth. The old trick for finding inner peace. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed, like a giant wave is about to crash over you, and there's nothing you can do to stop it? Maybe it's a big test, or drama with friends, or just a really busy week that feels like too much. It's easy to feel helpless when things seem out of your control. But here's the thing, very wise people, like some old philosophers from thousands of years ago, figured out a neat trick to handle this feeling. They realized much of our stress comes from worrying about stuff we actually can't change. Think about it. You can't stop the rain from falling on your big game day. You can't make a friend apologize if they don't want to, no matter how much you wish. You can't control what exact questions will be on the history test. But what can you control? You can control whether you bring an umbrella. You can control how you react to your friend's actions. You can control how much you study for that history test. This idea is simple, but incredibly powerful. It's like being a scientist in a lab. You can't control the exact room temperature or if the power flickers for a second, but you can control how carefully you set up equipment, how clearly you write observations, and how you adjust plans if something unexpected happens. Focusing your energy on what you can do, what's within your reach, changes everything. When you start to do this, you stop wasting precious energy on impossible things. Instead, you put all your effort into what's possible for you to influence. This can help you feel much less anxious and more powerful, even when the world around you feels chaotic. It's not about ignoring problems, but finding your calm strength within them. It reminds us that even when life feels like a storm, there's always a quiet center you can find, just by choosing where to put your focus. And that's why it truly matters. Is everything just predetermined? A really old idea. Have you ever looked at a perfect sunset and thought, this was just meant to happen? Or maybe you missed a bus and later realized it led you to meet someone important. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if everything, every single thing that happens in our lives, from a tiny breath to a big decision, is already decided? This idea is called predetermination. And here's the thing, it's not new. People have wrestled with this thought for thousands of years. Think back to ancient Greece. Philosophers and thinkers from different cultures, like the Stoics, used to ponder if fate was real. They wondered if our lives are like a movie script already written, and we're just acting out the scenes. It means that whether you choose cereal or toast, or which path you take, it was all set before you even knew it. It's a big concept, and it can feel a little heavy. But imagine a long line of dominoes. When the first one falls, it knocks over the next, and the next, all the way to the end. You can see the whole chain reaction from the start. That's kind of how predetermination sees life. One event leads to another, logically, inevitably. So, your past actions, or things you couldn't control, set up what comes next. So, if everything is already mapped out, do our choices even matter? This is the core question. It's not about feeling helpless, but about a different way of looking at existence. Some people found comfort, believing if bad things happen, it was simply meant to be, helping them accept it. Others felt that knowing this might make them want to live even more thoughtfully. Understanding their path, however set, is still theirs to walk. It's a deep, quiet thought, one that echoes through time, asking us to ponder our place in a vast, unfolding story. Why your reputation matters and how to build it. Why your reputation matters and how to build it. Have you ever stopped to think about how others truly see you? Your reputation isn't just a label. It's the quiet story people tell about you when you're not in the room. It's built from your actions, your words, the way you treat others. It's like an invisible shield or a helping hand that goes with you everywhere. Long ago, wise thinkers like the Greek philosopher Plato understood this. He said that a good reputation is like a precious treasure. It can open doors, build trust, and even give you power. People will believe you, they will listen to you, and they will want to work with you. A bad reputation, though, can make life much harder. It creates doubts, making others less likely to trust you or give you a chance. Think of it like a personal credit score, but for your character. Every time you show up on time, help a friend without being asked, or keep a promise, you add points to that score. You're building trust, bit by bit. Every time you gossip about someone, break a promise, or act unkindly, you lose some points. It builds up slowly, sometimes without you even noticing, like layers of paint on a wall. But here's the thing, it can crumble fast with just one careless action or one hurtful word. So, how do you build this powerful thing? It starts with small, everyday choices. Be honest, even when it's hard. Be kind, even when you're tired. Show up when you say you will. Do what you say you'll do, always. Listen more than you speak, and try to understand others. Treat everyone with the respect you hope to receive yourself. These small, steady actions, repeated over time, form the very heart of who you are. Your reputation is more than just how others see you. It's a deep reflection of who you are becoming every single day. It's a quiet legacy you start building today, with every single breath and every choice. And that's why it matters so much, because it's about the truth of you, shining out into the world. The power of doubt, when questioning everything helps. Have you ever felt a quiet little nudge in your mind, a tiny whisper asking, is that really true? Or maybe, why is it this way? That feeling, that moment of hesitation, is doubt. And here's the thing, doubt often gets a bad rap. We sometimes think of it as a weakness, like we should just believe what we're told. But what if doubt is actually a superpower? Think about it. It's not about being negative or stubborn. It's about being curious. It's about wanting to understand deeply, not just scratch the surface. Long ago, a wise philosopher named Socrates walked around ancient Athens. He didn't claim to have all the answers. Instead, he simply asked questions, lots of them. He would question leaders, artists, and regular folks about what they believed was true, good, or just. And often, people realized they didn't really know as much as they thought. Socrates showed that by doubting, by asking why, we can actually get closer to real understanding. He taught that it's okay, even important, to not have all the answers. Here's an example. Imagine you're watching a magic trick. The magician says they made a coin disappear. You see it disappear, but your mind doubts it. You think, how did they do that? That doubt isn't disbelief. It's a spark of curiosity. It pushes you to look closer, to consider other possibilities. You might even figure out the trick. That's how scientists work, too. They don't just accept an idea, they test it, try to prove it wrong, all because of a healthy dose of doubt. So, the next time that little whisper of doubt pops up, don't push it away. Listen to it. Let it guide you to ask more questions. It can be a powerful tool, not for tearing things down, but for building a stronger, truer understanding of the world, and even of yourself. It's how we learn, grow, and truly see how to live without regrets. Have you ever had that feeling, deep down, wishing you could hit rewind? Maybe you said something you regret, or didn't say something you really wanted to. That ache, that heavy weight, is regret. It can feel like a shadow following you around. But here's the thing, everyone makes choices they later wish were different. Even the wisest people long ago, those ancient philosophers, knew this feeling. They spent their lives thinking about how to live well. They understood you can't go back in time. So, their big question was, how do we face those past moments and still find peace? Many of these thinkers, like the Stoics, suggested true wisdom isn't about avoiding mistakes. That's impossible for us. Instead, it's about understanding what you can and can't control. You can't change what happened last week, but you can control how you choose to think about it right now, and what you do moving forward. It's about accepting the past, not as a failure, but as part of your story, a lesson in disguise. Think about it like this. Imagine you're working on a big art project for school. You try a new technique, but it doesn't turn out like you hoped. You might feel a wave of regret, but what if, instead of just feeling bad, you stopped and really looked at what went wrong? Maybe that mistake actually taught you something unexpected about your materials, or a new way to blend colors. You don't erase the messed up part, but you use what you learned from it. You carry that new knowledge forward to your next project, making it better. Every attempt, every choice, even the ones we wish were different, holds a piece of wisdom for us. Living without regret isn't about being perfect. It's about giving yourself permission to be human. It's about letting go of what if, and instead asking, what now? When we learn from our past, instead of letting it weigh us down, we don't just move on. We truly grow. We discover a quiet strength that helps us live more fully, right in this moment. We find a deep calm, knowing that even our bumps and detours contribute to the unique path we're walking. The idea that says humans are born equal. Have you ever stopped to think about what makes us all, deep down, the same? Even though we look different, come from different places, and have unique dreams, is there something fundamental that ties us together? The idea that says humans are born equal is exactly about this. It's not about saying everyone is good at the same things, or that we all have the same talents. That's clearly not true. Instead, it means that every single person, just by being human, has the same basic worth and deserves the same basic respect. Think of it like this. No one is born a king or a slave in their core. We don't come into the world with a special sticker that says more important or less important. This wasn't always a common thought. For many, many years, societies were set up with clear ranks, kings, nobles, common people, and so on. Your birth decided almost everything about your life. But then, smart thinkers started to question this. People like John Locke, centuries ago, began to talk about natural rights. Rights you have, just because you're human, not because someone gave them to you. This kind of thinking helped light up big movements, like the one that led to the idea of all men are created equal in the American Declaration of Independence. It's like how every seed, no matter its type, holds the full potential to grow into a plant. A sunflower seed and a tiny basil seed are very different, but both have that complete, built-in ability to sprout and live. They both deserve good soil and sunlight to try. Similarly, this idea says we all deserve a fair shot, the same opportunities, and not to be judged or treated badly just because of who we are or where we came from. It's a call to see past the outside differences and recognize the shared humanity in everyone. This powerful thought asks us to treat each other with dignity, remembering that beneath all the layers, we are all connected by our shared journey of being human. Why you need to challenge your own beliefs. Have you ever been absolutely sure about something, only to find out later you were wrong? Maybe it was about a fact, or how someone felt, or even a way of looking at the world. Here's the thing, it happens to all of us, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's how we truly grow, how our understanding of the world deepens. Challenging your own beliefs means taking a step back from what you think you know and asking, is this really true? Why do I believe this? Deep down, it's not about giving up on your core values or who you are. Instead, it's about strengthening those values by testing them, or sometimes, gently replacing them with something that feels more honest and true. Imagine a scientist who believes the Earth is flat. If they never questioned that deeply held idea, they'd never discover the world is round. They'd never unlock the universe's secrets or understand gravity. Their entire world would remain flat and small. Think about a time you tried a new food you thought you hated, only to find you loved it, or how you used to think a certain kind of music was lame, but then a friend showed you a band, and now it's your favorite. Your old belief was holding you back from something good. Philosophers like Socrates, way back in ancient Greece, spent their lives just asking questions. He didn't claim to have all the answers. Instead, he made people think hard about why they believed what they believed. He helped them see that sometimes, even their strongest convictions were built on shaky ground. He showed them that true wisdom often starts with admitting you don't know. It's like looking at a puzzle piece. You might be convinced it fits a certain spot, but if you turn it a little, or try a different corner, suddenly it clicks into place somewhere else. It's not just about being right. It's about being open to a bigger picture. When you challenge your own beliefs, you're not just changing your mind, you're making your mind stronger, more flexible, more capable of handling complexity. You're making room for empathy, for understanding different points of view, and for a deeper, quieter kind of wisdom that truly connects us. It's a brave act of kindness to yourself, a gentle opening to the vast, amazing complexity of the world, and to the person you are becoming. The philosopher who understood why we love stories. Why do we love stories so much? From the moment we're little, we beg for just one more. We get lost in books, movies, video games. But here's the thing. Why does our brain crave them? What makes us feel so much for people who aren't even real? Long ago in ancient Greece, Aristotle noticed something powerful. He believed we love stories because they let us practice being human. They're like an emotional training ground. We read about a hero's challenge or a character's deep sadness, feeling those emotions safely from a distance. This lets us understand situations without being in danger. We learn how people react, make choices, and what happens next. Aristotle saw these stories as vital lessons. They showed us bravery or kindness. They helped us understand right from wrong, and how choices echo through lives. Stories even helped people process grief or fear, offering emotional release. Think about playing a video game with tough choices, seeing consequences without real-world problems, or watching a movie where someone overcomes a fear. You feel hope, thinking, maybe I can face my own fears. This helps you see possibilities, and that's why stories aren't just entertaining. They teach us empathy, showing us what it feels like to walk in someone else's shoes. They connect us, reminding us of our shared struggles and triumphs. Next time you're lost in a tale, remember you're learning to be better, kinder, more understanding people. What it means to be brave, beyond superheroes. What do you think of when someone says brave? Maybe you picture a superhero, flying through the sky, saving the day, or a knight in shining armor, facing a dragon. That's one kind of bravery, sure. It's loud and exciting. But here's the thing. Most of what it means to be truly brave doesn't involve superpowers or swords. It's often quiet. It lives inside you. Bravery isn't about not being afraid. It's about feeling that fear, sometimes deep in your stomach, but choosing to act anyway. It's about doing what's right, even when your knees are shaking. For thousands of years, people have thought about this. Ancient Greek thinkers, like a philosopher named Aristotle, talked about courage. They didn't just mean fighting big battles. They saw courage as a vital part of being a good person. It meant having the strength to stand firm in tough moments, to make hard choices. They understood that true bravery isn't always a big, dramatic show. It's often about resisting what's easy or popular, to stick up for your beliefs or for someone else who needs it. It's a quiet strength, the kind that helps you face daily challenges. Think about this. Maybe you have to give a presentation in front of your whole class, and your voice feels stuck in your throat. Or you see someone being treated unfairly, and a part of you wants to look away, but another part knows you should say something. Or perhaps you've made a mistake, a big one, and it feels impossible to admit it. That moment when you push through the nerves and speak up, or stand with the person who needs help, or say I'm sorry, that's real bravery. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to put yourself out there, even when it feels safer to hide. This kind of everyday courage shapes who you are. It's not about winning a medal. It's about building inner strength, little by little. Every time you choose to face a small fear, you grow. You learn that you can handle difficult things, and that's why it matters. This quiet, deep bravery helps you understand yourself better. It helps you build a life where you stand by your values, even when it's hard. It reminds us that the bravest acts often happen not in a flash of lightning, but in the steady, determined beat of a human heart. How to deal with loss and keep going. Have you ever wondered how people keep going when something really hard happens? When you lose someone or something important, it feels like a piece of you is gone, and the world just stops. But here's the thing, life keeps moving, even when our hearts ache. Ancient thinkers, long ago, understood this. They talked about how some things are in our control, and some things just aren't. We can't stop bad things from happening, like losing a favorite toy, or a friendship changing, or even worse, losing someone you love. Those feelings of sadness, of pain, are real and necessary. They're a sign of how much you cared. But what we can control is how we choose to respond to that pain. Think about it like a physical wound. When you get a cut on your arm, it hurts, it bleeds. You might clean it, put a bandage on it. It doesn't heal overnight. It takes time. Sometimes, it leaves a scar, a memory of where the injury was. But the skin grows back. It adapts. You don't just stop using your arm forever because of a cut. You let it heal, and then you keep going. You find new ways to be strong. And that's why it matters when we face loss. Our emotional wounds are like that. We carry the hurt, maybe even a scar on our heart, but we also carry the strength we found in healing. The sun still rises, the seasons still change, and new experiences wait for us. We learn that even after the deepest sorrow, there is always a path forward, a quiet strength to build a new chapter. The ancient view on why we need rules. Have you ever stopped to really think about rules? Not just the ones at school or home, but the bigger idea of rules for everyone. It's easy to feel like they just get in our way, right? Like they're there to stop us from doing what we want. But here's the thing. People long ago, ancient thinkers, saw rules very differently. They weren't just about punishment. For them, rules were crucial for peace. Imagine a world with no rules at all. No traffic lights, no promises kept, no agreements on what's fair. It sounds wild, even exciting for a second, but then, picture the confusion, the fear it would cause. If anyone could take or hurt others without consequence, how could anyone feel safe? How could you truly trust others? Ancient thinkers knew that without shared understanding, without lines we agree not to cross, life would be awful. It would be a constant struggle, full of worry and fights. Think about playing a team sport, like basketball. What if there were no rules for dribbling or fouls? It wouldn't be a game. It would be a chaotic mess, and no one could truly play or enjoy it. The rules make the game possible. They let everyone know what to expect. So, for these ancient minds, rules weren't just chains holding us back. They were like invisible threads holding a community together. They let us build cities, share ideas, and help each other. They create space for trust, for kindness to bloom, and for us to work towards something better, together. They help us truly live, not just survive, in a way that feels fair and safe for everyone. And that's why it matters. Finding your purpose when you feel lost. Have you ever felt a little adrift? Like you're just floating through your days, not sure where you're headed? It's like being in a huge quiet forest without knowing which path to take. You might wonder, what am I supposed to do? What am I good at? What even is my point? That quiet questioning is actually a powerful start. It means you're looking for your purpose. It isn't some grand, hidden secret. Here's the thing, it's what gives your life meaning. It's that unique spark inside you that makes you feel truly alive and connected to the world. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosopher Aristotle, thought about this a lot. He believed everything had a natural purpose. A seed's telos, is to grow into a plant. For us, he suggested our purpose involves using our minds and talents to live a good, meaningful life. It's not about being perfect, but finding what you are meant to do and be. Think about a puzzle piece. By itself, it's just a strange shape, but when you connect it with others, it forms a picture, finding its place. Your purpose is like that. You are a unique piece, and your experiences, interests, kindness, these connect you to life's bigger picture. You don't know the whole picture yet, and that's okay. So, when you feel lost, remember, it's okay to search. Try different things. Every new choice, skill, or person you help is like trying a new puzzle piece. You're not just finding purpose, you're building it. The journey itself is meaningful, always leading you somewhere important, even if the map isn't clear. Why money isn't everything? Seriously, why money isn't everything? Seriously, think about what you really want. We all wish for things, a new game, cool clothes, maybe even a trip somewhere far away. Money helps us get them. It buys food, a home, and many useful tools. It's important for daily life. But here's the thing. Can money buy a true friend? Can it buy that amazing feeling of someone really understanding you, even without words? Can it buy a calm heart when you're worried, or quiet comfort when you're sad? It just can't. Long ago, thinkers like Aristotle, from ancient Greece, asked these very questions. He wondered what made a good life. He didn't say it was about having the most gold. He talked about eudaimonia, which means living a life of true purpose and deep happiness. He believed that kind of happiness came from how you lived, from being a good person and connecting with others, not just from what you owned. Think about learning a new skill, like playing guitar. You might buy a guitar, but the real joy isn't in owning it. It's in the hours practicing, the satisfaction of finally playing a song well, or sharing your music with someone. That feeling of accomplishment and growth, priceless. Money can get you a concert ticket, but it can't buy the shared energy of the crowd, or the way your heart feels when your favorite song plays. It's a necessary tool, yes, but it isn't the feeling itself, not the laughter, the genuine kindness, or the quiet strength you find inside. So, maybe the truest treasures aren't things you can hold or bank. Maybe they are the moments, the connections, the quiet strength that light up your spirit. These things are grown, not bought, and that's why they truly matter. The secret to making good decisions. Have you ever felt that heavy knot in your stomach when facing a tough choice? We all want to make choices that feel right, that lead to good feelings instead of regrets. But what's the actual secret? Here's the thing. It's not about having a magic spell or seeing the future. It's about knowing yourself. It's about understanding what you truly value, what gives your life meaning, and what you stand for. When you know these things, your choices start to make sense. Long ago, a wise man named Socrates in ancient Greece said, "Know thyself." He meant understanding your own heart, your true north. He believed that when you truly know yourself, the path ahead becomes much clearer, almost like a light in the dark. Think about choosing a path. Maybe it's about what to do this weekend, or how to handle a friend. One path might be popular, where everyone else is going. The other feels quieter, maybe harder, but something inside you whispers it's right for you. If you don't know your own quiet whispers, you might just follow the crowd. But if you've listened to what truly matters to your spirit, you can choose your own true path. Even if it means walking alone for a bit. Making good decisions isn't about never making a mistake. It's about building a steady trust in your own heart. It's about finding that deep, calm center inside you and letting it gently guide your steps. When you do that, each choice feels less like a gamble and more like an honest step forward. And that, in itself, brings a deep, powerful, comforting feeling. How to spot a liar, according to history's smartest. Have you ever felt a knot in your stomach? A tiny whisper telling you something wasn't quite right? That small doubt is what history's greatest thinkers paid close attention to. Spotting a liar isn't magic. It's about careful listening and watching. The wise ones taught us that truth usually stands firm, like a strong tree. A lie often shifts, never finding a steady place. It doesn't truly fit with everything else you know. Think about Socrates. He didn't just listen to words. He asked questions, pushing until ideas either stood strong or crumbled. He believed if your words didn't match your actions, or if your story changed, there was a gap. In that gap, truth was missing. It's like building with blocks. If one block doesn't sit right, the whole tower feels wobbly. Seneca observed, truth is simple, but falsehood is a tangle. Lies need other lies, creating a confusing web. Imagine a friend tells you they aced a test, but later, you hear them complain about how hard it was, or they avoid talking about their grades. Here's the thing, those small changes in their story or behavior are like red flags. They don't quite line up. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't fit. What history's smartest minds taught us isn't just a trick. It's a reminder to pay attention, to trust that quiet feeling inside. Honesty builds trust, a feeling of safety between people. When that trust is broken, it leaves a hollow space, a wound that takes time to heal. Listening for the clear ring of truth, or the jarring sound of a lie, helps us protect our hearts and minds, and build a world where words truly mean something. The idea that your mind shapes your reality. Have you ever wondered if the world you see is just like what someone else sees? It's a big question thinkers have quietly considered for ages. The idea is simple but deep. What if your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs don't just live inside you, but build the reality you experience? Imagine your mind is like a projector, not just for ideas. It takes what's inside your worries, hopes, past experiences, and shines them out. Two people can look at the same cloudy day. One sees quiet reading time, the other sees only gloom. The clouds are the same, but their inner worlds create different realities. Ancient philosophers, long ago, pondered this. They knew how we interpret life, the stories we tell ourselves, changes everything. They saw our inner world isn't separate from the outer. They danced together. Think of a simple example. You just learned about a rare bird. Suddenly, you notice that bird everywhere, in books, on TV, even a drawing on a friend's shirt. Was the bird always there? Yes, but your mind, now aware, started to see it, bringing it into your reality. Your attention shaped what you perceived. This isn't magic or wishing problems away. It's a quiet, powerful influence we have. We can't always control what happens to us, but we strongly influence how we see, frame, and understand it. It reminds us that inside you lies a key to how your world unfolds. It offers deep peace, knowing your inner world truly matters. Why being curious is always a superpower. Have you ever just wondered, really stopped and looked at something ordinary, like a long shadow stretching on the pavement, or how the light changes color right before sunset? What makes it happen? Why does it look that way? That small spark, that quiet question inside you, that's curiosity. It's not just about facts, even if facts are important. Here's the thing. It's a deep, powerful feeling, a quiet need to understand, to reach out and feel the edges of the unknown world around you. For thousands of years, people felt this pull. Imagine ancient thinkers, long before phones or even printed books. They'd sit under the night sky, staring up. They looked at stars and asked, what are they? How do they move? What does it all mean? They didn't get answers right away, but the simple act of asking, of wanting to know more, pushed them. It made them imagine new things, explore ideas, and gently discover. Every piece of knowledge we have today, from why apples fall to how our hearts beat, started because someone was curious enough to just ask why. Think about a small moment in your own day. Maybe you tried to cook something new, and it didn't quite work out. Did you just give up? Or did you get curious? Did you wonder, what if I tried a little less of this, or a bit more of that? That's curiosity helping you learn, solving a mini puzzle, or maybe a friend seems a bit quiet. Instead of just walking past, if you get curious and wonder, are they okay? Is something on their mind? That curiosity opens a door. It helps you understand them better, maybe even offer support. This gentle drive to question, to seek, to truly understand, is a true superpower. It helps us learn, yes, but it does more. It helps us connect with the world, and especially with each other. When we are curious about someone else's feelings, we grow in kindness and empathy. When we are curious about how our world works, we feel more a part of it. It's a quiet strength, a steady light inside us that never really fades. And it means we never stop growing, never stop seeing new wonders. It reminds us that living isn't about having every single answer, but about finding true joy in the beautiful, endless questions. What causes war? Lessons from long ago. Have you ever stopped to wonder about the deepest reasons for conflict? Not just a small argument with a friend, but the huge, terrible fights that divide nations and change history forever. What makes people, deep down, turn to war? It's a heavy question with ancient roots, echoing through time. Here's the thing. Thinkers from thousands of years ago watched people and saw patterns. One ancient Greek Thucydides, who lived through a massive war, believed most conflicts came from three basic human feelings: fear, honor, and self-interest. Fear that another group would become too powerful or take what you had. A need to protect your reputation or your group's pride. That's honor. And wanting more land, more resources, or more control. That's self. Not so different from how we feel today, right? Think about it like this. Imagine your school soccer team. Players aren't just playing for fun. They're playing for pride, for the win. Sometimes, that drive gets intense, almost angry. Now, picture that same intensity, but for an entire country's survival or its way of life. The pressure builds, like steam in a pot. If there's no way to talk it out or share, it can explode. It's a slow build-up of fear, pride, and wanting something, until fighting feels like the only path left. So, When we look back, we realize that the reasons for conflict haven't really changed much. The weapons are different, the maps are different, but the human heart, with its fears and its hopes, stays much the same. It makes you think, doesn't it? If we understand these old lessons, maybe we can start to imagine a future where we find new ways to release that pressure. To choose understanding over explosion, that's a deep hope worth holding on to. How to build a better society, one idea at a time. Voiceover: have you ever looked at the world and wished something was different? Maybe at school, or in your town, or even in the wider world. It's easy to feel small when faced with big problems, like you can't make a difference. But here's the thing, every huge change, every single step towards a better way of living together, started with just one idea. One person dared to ask, what if? Or softly wondered, why don't we try? Think back to the very first philosophers, people like Plato, who lived long, long ago in ancient Greece. He sat and wondered what a truly good society would look like. He imagined a place where everyone was treated fairly, where leaders were wise, and people worked together for the common good. He wrote these ideas down, not as rules yet, but as deep thoughts on paper. These were seeds. Other people read them, talked about them, and slowly, over hundreds of years, some of those original ideas became part of how societies are built and governed today. Things like laws that protect everyone, or the essential belief that leaders should always be fair and listen. It's a bit like a huge, complicated group project. Say you're working on something for history class, and it feels completely messy and overwhelming. Someone quietly suggests, what if we each take a different part, like research or presentation? That one simple idea, spoken out loud, suddenly organizes everything. It makes the big task less scary, and everyone knows what to do. That's precisely how societies improve. Someone has an idea for a cleaner park, or a more just way to decide things at town meetings, and that's why it truly matters. Each time someone quietly dreams up a better way, a small, gentle spark lights up. It might feel tiny, like a single star appearing in a huge dark night sky, but when enough people see that spark, when they share their own sparks, the sky starts to glow with hope. So, please, never ever think your ideas don't count. They are the quiet beginnings of every hopeful tomorrow. They are how we slowly, thoughtfully make the world a kinder, more just place, one honest, heartfelt whisper at a time. The philosopher who knew about the power of habits. Have you ever stopped to think about all the little things you do without even trying, like brushing your teeth every morning, or automatically walking the same route to school? These aren't big, grand decisions. They are quiet, steady actions that just happen. But here's the thing. These small, repeated actions, these habits, they actually build who we are, brick by brick. And long, long ago, a wise thinker named Aristotle understood this deeply. He lived in ancient Greece, thousands of years ago. Aristotle wasn't just thinking about what makes a good life, but how we actually become good people. He believed that virtue, things like kindness, courage, honesty, wasn't something you were just born with. Instead, he said, these qualities grew from doing good things over and over. It's like planting a tiny seed and watering it every day. You don't see a forest overnight, but slowly, steadily, something strong and rooted begins to form. Think about practicing a new skill, maybe learning guitar or getting better at basketball. At first, it's hard, right? Your fingers fumble, your shots miss, but you keep going. You show up, you practice the scales, you shoot free throws. Each time, your brain and body remember a little more, and before you know it, what felt impossible becomes second nature. It's not magic, it's the quiet power of consistency. That practice isn't just making you better at a game, it's shaping you into someone disciplined, someone who doesn't give up. Aristotle taught that our character, our deepest self, is a collection of these daily habits. Every time you choose to be patient instead of angry, every time you choose to study instead of distract yourself, you're not just making a choice in that moment. You are building a path. You are slowly, softly, carving out the kind of person you will become. It's a powerful and a little bit sad thought, because it means we are always building ourselves, whether we mean to or not. Our habits are like silent sculptors, always at work. And that's why it matters to think about what we let them create. Why you're responsible for your own happiness. Have you ever stopped to wonder where happiness truly comes from? We often think it's waiting for us in a new game, a perfect day, or when someone says something nice. But here's the thing, Those moments are great, and they make us smile. True, lasting happiness though, that's something you build from the inside out. It's not just handed to you, it's something you create. This idea isn't new. A long, long time ago, ancient thinkers like Epictetus understood this deeply. He lived in a time when life was hard. He talked about how we can't always control what happens to us in the world. Bad weather, mean words, tough situations. But, he said, we can control how we react to those things. Our thoughts, our feelings about what happens, those are entirely up to us. They belong to us, like our own private space. Think of it like this. Your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. If you plant seeds of worry, frustration, or sadness, those are the things that will grow. But if you choose to plant seeds of kindness, hope, and understanding, even when things are difficult, then those are the flowers that will bloom. It's not always easy, like pulling weeds. Sometimes, it takes effort to choose the good seeds, to push away thoughts that make you feel small or angry. And that's why this matters. It means you have incredible power. It doesn't mean you won't have sad days, or feel mad sometimes. Those feelings are real, and it's okay to have them. But it does mean that deep down, the switch for your own lasting peace and joy is something only you can flip. You are the gardener of your own heart. Realizing that, truly feeling it, can change everything. It brings a quiet strength, knowing your inner world is truly your own to shape. Dealing with disappointment, wisdom from the past. Have you ever felt that heavy, hollow feeling, like a knot in your stomach, when something you truly hoped for just didn't happen? Maybe you studied so hard for a test, poring over notes, but the grade wasn't what you expected. Or you tried out for a team, giving it your absolute best, and your name wasn't on the list. That ache, that deep letdown, that's disappointment. It crashes over us, makes us feel small, and it's a very real part of being human. It visits all of us, sooner or later, and it can feel overwhelming. Here's the thing. People have felt this way for thousands of years. Way back in ancient Greece and Rome, wise thinkers called philosophers talked a lot about dealing with these exact emotions. The Stoics, for example, understood that often a disappointment comes from wishing things were different than they actually are. They believed true strength wasn't about avoiding these painful feelings, but about understanding them. They taught us to focus on what we can control, our own effort, our attitude, how we react, and accept what we cannot control, like the final outcome or someone else's decision. This ancient wisdom reminds us that even though the hurt is real, we have power over our inner world. Imagine you're trying to build a really tall, complicated tower out of LED. You have this amazing, perfect picture in your head of what it will look like. But then, as you're stacking the last few bricks, it wobbles, leans, and suddenly crashes down into a pile of plastic. It's frustrating, right? You might feel really sad or even angry at all that wasted effort. But instead of just giving up, you can look at the scattered pieces. You might see why it fell. Maybe the base wasn't wide enough, or you rushed that top section. And that's why it matters. The fall, the disappointment, teaches you something important. It shows you a different, stronger way to try next time. These old thinkers understood that disappointment isn't just an end to something good. It's often a new beginning, a guide. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you showed courage. It means you cared enough to hope, to try, to put your heart into something. And that caring, that quiet courage to keep trying even after a fall, is a beautiful, powerful strength. So when disappointment knocks, remember, it's not there to break you. It's there to show you where your true resilience lies, and to gently guide you toward understanding yourself and the world even better. The idea that everything changes, always. Have you ever really noticed how things are always moving? How nothing truly stays the same? It's a pretty deep thought, right? One minute you're into a certain game, and the next, you're looking forward to high school. Your favorite song changes, friendships shift. Even your own thoughts and feelings move through different stages. This big idea, that everything is always in motion, isn't new. A long, long time ago, in ancient Greece, there lived a philosopher named Heraclitus. He had a famous saying that gets right to it. No man ever steps in the same river twice. Here's what he meant. The river itself is constantly flowing. New water rushes past. But also, you, the person stepping in, are changing too. Every second, your body renews cells, your mind learns. So, the you who steps in the first time isn't the exact you who steps in again. Think about a place you know well. like your neighborhood. The buildings might look the same from far away, but up close, you notice new paintings, different flowers blooming, or new paths worn into the grass. New people move in, others move out. It's not the exact same place it was last year. It's always evolving, subtly but surely. Thus constant shifting can feel a little strange, maybe even a bit sad, when you think about happy moments or things you loved that are now gone. But here's the thing, it also means that every single moment is unique and precious. It means there's always room for new beginnings, new ideas, and new growth right around the corner. The world keeps spinning, keeps moving, and so do we. It's a quiet, powerful kind of wonder, understanding that life itself is this continuous, beautiful flow. How to argue well, not just loudly. Have you ever felt misunderstood, or like no one was really listening to your side of things? We all get into disagreements. It's part of being human, but sometimes these moments can feel less like a conversation and more like a shouting match. Here's the thing, arguing doesn't have to be about winning. It can be about understanding. It can be about making space for different thoughts, for different feelings. Long ago, thinkers like Socrates in ancient Greece weren't about proving people wrong with loud words. Instead, they asked questions. They listened carefully. They wanted to explore ideas, to dig deeper, to see what was truly beneath the surface. For them, it was a way to learn, to grow, and to get closer to the truth. Together. Think of it like this. A good argument isn't a tug-of-war, where one side pulls harder until the other falls. It's more like two friends building a complicated Lego set. You both have different pieces, different ideas of where things should go. If you just grab and push, the whole thing might crumble. But if you take turns, listen to each other's ideas, and try fitting your pieces together, even if they don't seem to match at first, you might build something amazing and unexpected, something stronger than either of you could have made alone. When we truly listen, not just waiting for our turn to speak, we open a quiet door. We show respect, not just for the other person, but for the complex dance of ideas. It doesn't mean you have to change your mind, but it does mean your mind gets bigger, and that's why it matters. Learning to argue well isn't just about being smart, it's about being truly connected. It's about building bridges, one thoughtful word at a time, instead of walls. Why you should trust your gut sometimes. Have you ever felt that quick, deep sense inside you, telling you something without words? It's your gut, right? That sudden, unexplained feeling that something is off, or perfectly right. It isn't a thought you built with careful logic. It's more like a quiet knowing. For ages, people have wondered about this. Even ancient thinkers, who valued clear reasoning, knew there was more to how we make choices. They understood a kind of wisdom that wasn't just about facts. It was about sensing the right path in a moment. A quick, wise feeling. Here's the thing. Your gut feeling acts like a very old, very fast computer. It processes tiny pieces of information your conscious mind doesn't even notice. Like when you meet someone and immediately feel a good or bad vibe. Maybe their body language, a small shift in their eyes, or their tone of voice, all get processed instantly. Your brain adds it up, and before you can think why, your gut just knows. This can help you stay safe, or make a fast decision when there's no time to weigh options. Imagine walking down a new street. Suddenly, you feel uneasy, and decide to turn back. Later, you learn that area wasn't safe. Your gut picked up signals your eyes missed. But here's the problem. Your gut can also be wrong. It can be based on old worries, or what you expect, not what's truly there. It's not a magic answer. It's a signal, a starting point. So, you listen to it. You feel that quick sense, and then, you think, you ask questions, you use your logic and what you've learned. It's like having a compass that points you, but you still check the map to find the best way. Trusting your gut means respecting that inner voice, but also knowing it's just one part of your amazing human wisdom. It's about using all your senses, both felt and thought, to move through the world. The old way to find meaning in suffering. Have you ever stopped to think about how people long ago tried to make sense of the really tough times in their lives? When everything felt heavy and sad, what did they hold on to? For centuries, many believed that suffering wasn't just random bad luck. They saw it as something with a purpose, a hidden lesson, even if it hurt a lot. Think about ancient cultures, or even early philosophers and religious thinkers. They often taught that hardship wasn't meant to break you, but maybe to shape you. It was like a difficult test you had to pass to become stronger or wiser. This wasn't about enjoying the pain. No one enjoys pain. Instead, it was about looking deeper, past the immediate hurt, for a reason. They believed that going through struggle could make your spirit tougher, like a metal being hammered into a beautiful, strong sword. Here's an example. Imagine you're trying to learn a new, really tricky skill. Maybe it's playing a complicated song on a guitar, or mastering a hard move in a video game. You mess up, you get frustrated, your fingers ache, or your brain feels tired. It feels bad in the moment, but you keep going, and eventually, you get it. The struggle, the mistakes, the difficulty, all of that helped you grow. It made you better. The old way of thinking applied this same idea to life's biggest hurts. They saw suffering as part of the process, a difficult path that could lead to important growth or a deeper understanding of the world and yourself. So, for them, even in the deepest sorrow, there was often a quiet hope, a belief that the pain wasn't meaningless, but a silent teacher, guiding them toward an inner strength they never knew they had. It offered a way to carry their burdens with a sense of purpose, not just despair. What if society makes us worse? Have you ever stopped to wonder if the world around us, the society we live in, actually changes who we are inside? Not always for the better. It's a quiet thought, but it can feel heavy. Sometimes, we might feel pushed to act in ways that don't quite feel like us, just to fit in or keep up. Long ago, thinkers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, a philosopher from France, wondered about this. He had this big idea that maybe, deep down, humans are naturally good and kind. But then, when we build societies with lots of rules, competition, and comparisons, it starts to mess with that natural goodness. We learn to want things we don't need, to judge others, or to be selfish because that's what seems to get us ahead in the game of life. Think about it like this. Imagine a group of friends. One person starts to gossip about someone else, maybe to feel more popular. Soon, others join in, even if they don't truly feel good about it. The group dynamic, the unspoken rules of that social circle, pushed them to do something they might not have done alone. It's not that any single person is bad, but the energy of the group, the desire to belong, can steer us down a path we wouldn't choose on our own. Here's the thing, we're constantly watching each other, copying, comparing. Sometimes, that copying makes us lose a piece of our true selves, making us chase things that don't bring real joy, or fear things that aren't truly threats. So, here's what I found. It's not about society being evil. It's more about how the layers of expectation, the race for status, or even just the fear of being different, can slowly chip away at our natural kindness or courage. We start to believe the loudest voices, or we just follow the crowd because it feels safer. But realizing this gives us a quiet power. It lets us pause and ask ourselves, is this truly what I believe? Is this truly who I want to be? It's a reminder to hold on to that inner voice, even when the world tries to make it whisper. How to discover your strengths. Have you ever felt a quiet tug inside, wondering what you're truly great at? It's a natural feeling, this search for what makes you, you. We often think strengths are just about getting good grades in school, or being the best at a sport. But it's much deeper. Your strengths are those things you do naturally, almost without trying, that feel right. They are what light you up, what makes a hard task seem a little easier, or what helps you genuinely support others. Long ago, a wise Greek philosopher named Socrates told us to know thyself. He believed understanding your inner self, your unique gifts, was the most important journey. It's not about comparing yourself to others, it's about looking within. Think of it like this. A scientist might spend years studying tiny, invisible cells to understand how a living thing grows. Each cell has a job, a strength. Some are good at protecting, some at communicating, some at building new things. You are like a complex, amazing organism, with many hidden strengths waiting to be found. Maybe you're really good at making people laugh, or listening carefully when a friend is sad. Perhaps you can spot patterns others miss, or you feel a strong desire to help animals. These are not small things. These are parts of your unique brilliance. Pay close attention to what energizes you, what problems you naturally try to solve, or what kind words you icily offer. That quiet spark, that's your strength beginning to glow. And when you nurture it, you don't just help yourself, you make the world a richer, more understanding place. Finding your strength is finding a way to truly belong. The philosopher who knew about our inner animal. Have you ever felt a strong urge, a powerful feeling deep inside you, that just wanted to react without thinking? Maybe it was anger, or a sudden fear, or even a wild burst of excitement. Where do those raw feelings come from? Long ago, a smart thinker named Thomas Hobbes looked at humans and saw something ancient, something primal in all of us. He believed that underneath all our rules and politeness, there's an inner animal. This isn't about being literally an animal. It's about those basic instincts that push us. The need to survive, to protect what's ours, or even to get ahead. It's a part of us that doesn't care much for manners or laws, just for its own needs. Hobbes lived during a time of great trouble and war. Centuries ago, he saw how quickly society could break down without rules. He figured that without strong laws and leaders, we'd all be pretty wild, constantly fighting each other. He imagined a world without any rules, a state of nature where life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. He meant we'd act mostly on pure instinct, like animals trying to survive. Think about when you're super hungry. You might snap at someone for touching your food, even if you don't mean to. Or if you're playing a video game and someone tries to take your controller, you might feel a rush to defend it, like it's your territory. That's a tiny glimpse of that inner animal Hobbes talked about. It's that initial, instinctual reaction before your calm, thinking brain says, "Hey, wait, that's not how we act." It's just a quick flash of our primal self. So, this philosopher helped us see that our quiet, thoughtful self isn't the whole story. We carry a powerful, ancient part inside us. Understanding this isn't about judging ourselves for having these urges. Instead, it's about knowing we have these deep instincts, and then learning to guide them. It's about recognizing that powerful core and choosing to use our reason to shape it, making us not just survivors, but truly human. Why education is more than just school. Have you ever thought about what learning really means? Is it just what happens inside these school walls, with textbooks and tests? Here's the thing, school is super important. It gives us a map, showing us where to look for knowledge. But true education, the kind that shapes who we are, stretches far beyond bell schedules and homework. It's about opening your eyes to the world, really seeing it. It's about how you learn to be a good friend, or how you figure out why the sky is blue, even if it wasn't taught in a science class. It's about understanding yourself. Don't think about thinkers from a long time ago. Philosophers like Plato, from ancient Greece, talked about the examined life. He meant that living a life where you ask questions, where you look deeper, where you think about right and wrong. That's what truly makes you educated. Not just memorizing facts, but learning how to think, how to question, how to wonder. Consider this, learning to ride a bike. You can read books about balance, but until you get on it, fall a few times, and feel the wind, you haven't truly learned to ride. Or think about a chef. They might learn recipes in culinary school, but the real art comes from experimenting, tasting, sometimes messing up a dish, and understanding how different flavors work together. That's education happening in the kitchen, not just from a textbook. Experience teaches you, trying, failing, and trying again. So education isn't just about what you're told, but what you discover. It's the quiet moments when you notice something new, or feel deeply about an unfair situation and want to understand it. It's the kindness you show, the curiosity you hold. It's about growing into someone who can think, someone who cares. That journey never truly ends. It's a quiet strength, building within you, day by day, far beyond any classroom walls. The idea that living simply can be rich. Have you ever wondered if having less could actually mean having more? It sounds like a puzzle, right? But here's the thing. For a long, long time, people have thought about what truly makes life good. They realize that rich isn't just about how much money you have or how many fancy things you own. It's about feeling full inside, feeling content and free. Living simply means choosing to focus on what truly matters, instead of always chasing after the next new thing. It means finding joy in small, everyday moments and connections. Think about some really old philosophers. Hundreds of years ago, they didn't have cell phones or huge malls, and many of them believed that true happiness wasn't found in collecting stuff. Instead, they found it in clear thinking, in helping others, or in simply enjoying the quiet of the world around them. They saw a kind of freedom in not needing much to be okay. They understood that needing less meant you could worry less and live more fully. It's a bit like having a favorite song. You might listen to it over and over, and it always makes you feel good. Now imagine your phone has 1,000,000 songs, but you never really listen to any of them with full attention. The simple, favorite song brings more real joy than all the others you just scroll past. It's the same with life. When we clear out the extra stuff, the noise, the endless wishes for more. We make room for what truly matters to shine. So, it's not about being poor or missing out. It's about choosing where you put your energy. It's about finding that deep, quiet joy that doesn't cost anything. It's a way to feel truly wealthy, not with coins in your pocket, but with peace in your heart. And that, for many, is the richest kind of life there is. How to be a good citizen, back then and now. Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to be a good citizen? Not just someone who follows the rules, but someone who truly belongs, making a lasting difference. It's a profound question, one that people have wrestled with for thousands of years, across all times and places. And the answer, deep down, hasn't actually changed much at all. Long ago, in ancient Greece, wise thinkers like Plato and Aristotle watched their city-states, their small worlds. For them, a good citizen was someone who played their part, who contributed to the common good. It meant living with virtue, being fair, being brave, being honest. It meant caring deeply about the community, not just for personal gain. Their world was compact, yet the feeling was immense. We are all in this together, our well-being resting on us. That's why it matters. Today, our world feels so much larger, doesn't it? Our community stretches from our neighborhood park to the furthest corners of the internet. But the core idea is still the same. Being a good citizen means understanding we're deeply connected. It means showing empathy for others, even if they're different, even if their struggles aren't our own. It means taking care of the spaces we share, whether that's a local forest trail or just our school's cafeteria. Think about a school project you're part of. If everyone does their fair share, if everyone listens and respects ideas, the project shines and the group feels strong. But if one person doesn't contribute or actively makes things harder, the whole group struggles. That's very much like being a citizen. Our choices, big and small, create the environment around us. Every act of kindness, every moment of standing up for what's right, helps build something better for everyone. It's a quiet strength. This idea of being a good citizen, it's about leaving a gentle mark, showing care for our shared life, and remembering we are all woven into the fabric of this one world. Your actions, your choices, they hold a profound, quiet power to shape the future, one connected heart at a time. And that's a truth that echoes across the ages, calling to us still. Finding your own truth, not just accepting others. Have you ever felt a quiet tug inside, wondering if what everyone says is truly the whole story? Or if the ideas you carry are truly yours, not just borrowed? It's a powerful question. For a long time, people simply accepted what elders, leaders, or traditions told them. It felt safer, perhaps, but then, brave thinkers appeared. In ancient Greece, Socrates began to ask, why? He didn't just want to know what people believed. He wanted them to truly think about why those beliefs made sense. He urged them to build their own understanding. Here's the thing. Finding your own truth isn't about rejecting everything. It's about gently examining ideas, like holding a unique stone. You feel its cool weight, its texture. You might learn that ocean tides are caused by the moon's gravity. That's a known fact. But if you never truly think about how that works, if you never picture the moon's pull or understand the science, then it's not truly yours in a deep way. It's just information you've memorized. Imagine a story among your friends. You could just believe it. Or, you could pause, ask, is this truly real? What's the proof? Does it even make sense? That simple act of pausing, questioning, seeking understanding, that's how you build your own truth. It's like carefully constructing a sturdy shelter inside your mind, each plank chosen by you. This isn't stubborn, it's thoughtful. This quiet journey isn't something you finish quickly. It keeps going, changing and growing with you. That's a beautiful thing, to explore, to gently question, and to truly understand the world for yourself. That's how your life feels more real, more deeply connected. It builds a quiet strength, a wisdom that truly belongs to you, a wisdom no one can ever take away. The ancient lesson about dealing with fear. Have you ever felt that cold, tight squeeze in your chest when something scary is about to happen? Maybe before a big presentation, or trying out for a team, or even just asking someone a question. That feeling is fear. Here's the thing, it's not new. People have felt this way for thousands of years, and some of the oldest thinkers, philosophers from ancient Greece and Rome, had smart ideas about how to handle it. They understood that fear often comes from things we can't control. Think about it. You can't control if you'll ace every question on a test. You can't control what someone else thinks of you. and you definitely can't control if a big storm hits. The ancient Stoics, a group of thinkers, taught that true peace comes from focusing only on what is in your power. This can help you. Everything else, they said, is just background noise. So here's what happened. Instead of worrying about a test's outcome, they would ask, did I study my best? Did I prepare all I could? If the answer was yes, then there was nothing more to fear from that part of the situation. It's like when you're building something with LED. You control which bricks you choose, how carefully you connect them, but you can't control if someone bumps the table later. If you focused on doing your best with your own building, that's where your strength lies. This might work for you. It's about finding strength, not by making fear vanish, but by understanding where it truly lives. Does it live in what you can change, or what you can't? When we learn to separate those two, a calm feeling can settle in. It doesn't mean you won't ever be scared, but it means you can face those moments with a quiet power, knowing you've done what you can, and that's often enough. That's why it matters. You gain a quiet courage, a deep breath, in the face of whatever life brings. Why it's okay to not know everything. Have you ever felt that heavy weight, that pressure to have all the answers? Like you should just know everything about school or the world. Here's the thing. Nobody knows everything. Not your teachers, not your parents, not even the smartest scientists. And that's not just okay. It's a beautiful, powerful truth. Think about it this way. Long ago, in ancient Greece, lived a wise man named Socrates. People thought he was the smartest person around, but he would often say that the only thing he truly knew was that he knew nothing at all. This wasn't him being modest. It was him understanding something deep. Wisdom isn't having all the facts memorized. It's about knowing the limits of your own knowledge. It's about being curious enough to ask questions, even when you feel a bit lost. Imagine you're trying to solve a complicated puzzle. If you pretend you know how all the pieces fit, you'll never put it together. But if you accept that you don't know, and you start gently trying different things, then the discovery begins. This can help you in so many ways. For example, think about the vastness of space. Scientists have learned so much, but they know there's still more to discover. New galaxies, new laws of physics. They don't see that as a failure. They see it as an invitation to keep exploring. So, here's what can happen for you. When you let go of the need to know everything, a quiet wonder can settle in. You stop worrying about looking smart and start truly being curious. You get to be a seeker, an explorer of ideas. You're open to learning, to making mistakes, to growing. That's a journey more interesting than pretending you have it all figured out. There's always more to learn, more to understand, and that's a truly peaceful place to be. What makes art beautiful? A timeless question. Have you ever stopped to look at something and just felt something, like a song that gives you chills, or a painting that makes your breath catch, even a perfect sunset? We all feel beauty, but what exactly is beauty? And why does one thing feel beautiful to one person, but maybe not to another? This question has puzzled thinkers for thousands of years. From ancient Greek philosophers wondering about perfect shapes and harmony, to artists today mixing colors and sounds, people have always tried to understand what makes our hearts respond. Here's the thing. Beauty isn't always about perfection. Sometimes, it's in the cracks, the imperfections, or even the sadness. Think about a stormy sky. It's not bright and sunny, but it's dark. Powerful clouds can be incredibly beautiful, right? Or a piece of music that makes you feel a little sad, but in a good way, a way that makes you feel understood. That's beauty too. It touches something deep inside us. It's like when you see a really cool trick in science class, and it just clicks in your brain, making sense of something you never quite understood. Beauty can work that way too. It makes something click in your heart or mind. It's often about connection. When we find beauty, we connect with the artist, or with the feeling they wanted to share. It reminds us we're not alone in our feelings. It can be a simple drawing, a powerful poem, or even just the quiet moment after a rain shower. So, maybe beauty isn't something we find in art, but something art awakens in us. It's that quiet understanding, that shared moment of wonder, that makes us feel more alive. It's a reminder that even when the world feels complicated, there's always something good, something truly beautiful, waiting to be felt. How to talk about hard stuff, wisdom from the ages, closing parenthesis. How to talk about hard stuff, wisdom from the ages. Have you ever felt that tight knot in your stomach, knowing you need to say something important, but it's going to be tough? Maybe telling a friend something they won't like, or explaining how you truly feel about a big issue. It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? The fear of upsetting someone or being misunderstood can make us want to stay silent. But here's the thing. Humans have wrestled with these exact moments for thousands of years. From ancient Greek philosophers meeting in public squares to quiet thinkers in distant lands, people searched for ways to talk about difficult things. They understood words, especially with big feelings or tough truths, need careful handling, like a delicate instrument. They knew avoiding these conversations often just made things worse. Here's how it works. Talking about hard stuff isn't about winning an argument or always being right. It's deeply about understanding each other and making sure your true feelings are heard too. Think about trying to untangle a really stubborn knot in a shoelace. You can't just yank at it. That often makes the knot tighter. Instead, you patiently find the loose ends, gently pull, and carefully work on each part until it slowly unravels. Our words and thoughts are a bit like that. When a situation is complicated, we need to slow down. We need to listen not just to the exact words, but to the feelings and needs hiding behind them. The old thinkers taught us the immense power of truly listening. They believed in asking thoughtful questions, not just making quick statements. They encouraged us to really try and see the world from another person's side, even when their view feels far from our own. So, when you next face a tough conversation, remember that quiet, ancient wisdom. Take a deep breath. Choose your words with care, like placing precious stones to build a sturdy path across a rushing stream. It takes courage to speak your own truth, but it takes an even deeper strength to listen with an open heart. This approach helps build bridges between people instead of creating walls. It helps us connect, truly connect, even when things are difficult, making us all feel a little less alone in this big, often complicated world. The idea that you choose who you become. Have you ever truly thought about the person you are becoming? Not just what you like, but the real you, deep down. It's a powerful, almost secret idea. The daily choices you make, big or small, are like building blocks. They are quietly shaping the person you will be tomorrow, next year, and later in life. Thinkers, ancient and modern, have deeply considered this. They knew life isn't always fair. You can't choose your family, or where you're born, or many tough things that happen. But here's the quiet truth they found. You do choose how you respond to everything. That inner decision, how you react, is your real power. Imagine being a seed. You don't choose the soil you're planted in, or how much sun you get, but you do decide to push your roots deep, to reach for the light, to grow towards strength. You choose to bloom in whatever spot you find yourself. You decide how you will grow, no matter what. The Greek thinker, Aristotle, believed our character is built by our habits. Every time you choose kindness, or to work hard on something tough, or to speak up for what's right, you're not just doing that, you are making that part of yourself stronger. These small, repeated choices weave together the unique person you are. If you keep choosing patience, you become patient. If you choose curiosity, you become someone who loves to learn. This isn't just an old idea from dusty books. It's happening inside you, right now. It's like when you try to master a new skill, like playing a game or learning a trick. First tries feel awkward, but every time you keep going, every time you don't give up, you're not just getting better at the skill. You are telling yourself, I can do this. And step by step, you become someone who masters things. You become someone who doesn't quit. This idea is so important. The most amazing project you work on is yourself. Every morning, you get another fresh start, another chance to decide what kind of person you want to be. It's a gentle, powerful truth. You hold the brush that paints your masterpiece. Why your body and mind are connected. Have you ever felt your stomach twist into knots right before a big test? Or maybe your heart raced with excitement when you heard good news? That feeling isn't just in your head. It's your body speaking. For a long time, people thought our minds and bodies were totally separate things, like two different machines. But here's the thing. They're not. They are deeply, beautifully connected, always talking to each other. Your thoughts and feelings don't just float around. They have a real, physical impact on you. Even ancient philosophers, wise people from thousands of years ago, understood this. They didn't have brain scans or modern science, but they watched how people lived. They saw that a person who worried constantly might get sick more often. They saw that joy could make someone feel stronger, even heal faster. They taught that to truly live well, you needed to care for both your spirit and your body as one. They believed your inner world and your outer self were two sides of the same coin. Think about it this way. Imagine your brain as the control center of a very busy city. Your body, when you're stressed, maybe because of a tough class project, your brain sends signals. It's like an alarm bell goes off. Your body hears that alarm. Your muscles might tense up. Your breathing might get shallow, or you might even feel tired, even if you just woke up. Your mind is telling your body, danger, and your body reacts. And when you're happy and calm, your brain sends out messages of peace. Your shoulders relax, your breathing deepens, and you feel a gentle energy flow through you. This connection means so much. It means that what you think and how you feel really, truly matters to your physical well-being. And it means taking care of your body, eating well, sleeping enough, moving around also helps your mind stay strong and clear. Understanding this isn't just a science fact, it's a way to understand yourself better. It's a gentle reminder to treat both your thoughts and your physical self with kindness, because they are one. Dealing with envy, old school tips. Asterisk, dealing with envy, old school tips. Asterisk, have you ever looked at someone else's life, maybe a friend's new gadget, or how easily they understand a tough subject, and felt a strange twist inside? That feeling isn't always anger. Sometimes, it's envy. It's that quiet ache in your chest when you see good things happen for another person, and for a moment, you wish it was yours instead. People have wrestled with this feeling for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers, long before our time, often spoke about envy. They didn't see it as a sign of being a bad person. Instead, they saw it as a mirror. When you envy someone, they believed it often reflected something you valued yourself, something you secretly longed to achieve. Think of it like this. If you see a classmate get a perfect test score and feel that pang, it might not just be about their score. It could be a sign that deep down, you really want to succeed in your studies too. One of their big tips was simple. Look away from the mirror. Not from yourself, but from comparing your reflection to someone else's. Imagine you're building a cool Lego castle. If you keep looking at your friend's even bigger castle while you're still on your first tower, you might feel discouraged. But if you just focus on your own pieces, your own plan, your own progress, you'll feel much better about what you're creating. Your castle is your castle. They taught that focusing on your own journey, on making your own castle the best it can be, is the true path to peace. Each person has their own struggles, their own secret battles you can't see. So, when that twisty feeling tries to sneak in, remember to gently bring your gaze back to yourself. Celebrate your own small victories. Understand that your worth isn't measured by what others have, but by the quiet strength and goodness within you. And that's why it matters. The philosopher who knew about the power of words. Have you ever felt a shiver down your spine just from hearing a certain story? Or maybe a single word, spoken by someone, changed your whole day, for better or for worse. Words are more than just sounds or letters on a page. They carry weight. They hold feelings. Long ago, people understood this. They knew words could build bridges or burn them down. A philosopher from ancient Greece spent a lot of time thinking about how words work. He didn't just see them as tools. He saw them as forces that could move people, change minds, and even start wars or bring peace. Think about how much power a storyteller had. Before books were common, stories were spoken. History, lessons, warnings, all passed down through words. These ancient thinkers knew that the way you said something mattered as much as what you said. They believed that words, when chosen carefully, could stir deep emotions inside us. They could make us feel brave, or afraid, or hopeful. It's like how a song works. The notes are just sounds, right? But put them together with the right lyrics, and a simple melody can make you cry, or feel incredibly happy. Your brain doesn't just hear the sound, it feels the meaning, the intention. A single compliment can boost someone's confidence for hours, but a thoughtless insult, even if a joke, can stick around and hurt for much longer. That's the real energy of words, like invisible waves hitting our hearts and minds. So, here's the thing. Every time we speak, every time we write, we are using this ancient, powerful tool. Our words create ripples. They shape not just what others think, but how they feel about themselves and the world around them. It reminds us to choose our words with care, with kindness, knowing they hold a quiet magic, waiting to be sent out into the world. They are little pieces of us, carrying our meaning. How to live a life you'll be proud of. Have you ever stopped to wonder what it truly means to live a life that, when you look back, makes your heart feel full and strong? It's not about having the most stuff, or being the most famous. Here's the thing. Being proud of your life comes from inside. It's about the person you become, not just the things you achieve. It's about your everyday choices, even the small ones. A long time ago, a really smart Greek thinker named Aristotle talked about something called eudaimonia. It sounds complicated, but it just means human flourishing or living a good, meaningful life. He believed it wasn't about quick thrills, but about growing into the best version of yourself, like a seed becoming a strong tree. And that's why it matters. You build this kind of life with purpose and kindness, step by gentle step. Think about it like this. Imagine you're building a towering Lego castle. You wouldn't just throw all the bricks together. You'd carefully choose each piece, making sure the base is solid and each section connects well. Your life is a bit like that castle. Every time you choose to be honest when it's hard, or kind when it's easier to be mean, you're picking a sturdy brick. Every time you try again after failing, or forgive someone, you're adding strength to your walls. These aren't big, flashy moments, but they are the quiet, important ones that make your structure stand tall and beautiful. So, how do you do it? It starts now. Pay attention to how you treat others. Listen to that quiet voice inside you that tells you what's right. It's about showing up for your friends, learning from your mistakes, and finding the courage to be yourself. This isn't a race, but a steady journey. It's about building a life brick by brick, filled with moments you can honestly look back on and feel a deep, quiet sense of pride in who you chose to be. It's about creating a story you'll truly love to tell. The idea that you're always changing. Have you ever looked at an old photo of yourself, maybe from just a few years ago, and thought, wow, that's me, but it also feels like a different person? It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Like the you back then isn't quite the you right now. And here's the thing, that feeling is actually a deep, old truth. You are always changing. Think about it. Every single moment, you are a new version of yourself. Your body changes, your mind learns and unlearns, your feelings shift. This isn't just growing up. It's a constant, quiet evolution happening inside you, all the time. An ancient Greek philosopher named Heraclitus understood this thousands of years ago. He famously said, "You cannot step into the same river twice." He meant that the river is always flowing, always fresh. And just like that river, you are also always flowing, always becoming something new. Here's a simple way to see it. Remember how you felt about certain foods or activities when you were younger. Maybe you hated broccoli, or thought a certain band was the absolute best. But now, maybe broccoli isn't so bad, and your music tastes have totally shifted. That's you changing. Your brain changes based on new experiences and thoughts. It's like you're a living story, and every day you add new chapters, new plot twists, new characters even, and that's why it matters. This constant change means you are never stuck. If you've made a mistake, or if you don't like who you are right now, remember that you are always capable of becoming something different, something more. You have this power to keep growing, to learn, to transform. It's a quiet promise that tomorrow holds a new you, full of new possibilities, new dreams. It's a beautiful thought, really. Why discipline isn't a bad word? Do you ever hear the word discipline and feel a little shiver, like it means punishment, or strict rules that just steal your fun? We often connect it with being told what to do, with things we have to do instead of what we want to do. But here's the thing, true discipline, the kind the old thinkers talked about, isn't about being bossed around. It's about a quiet, inner strength. It's choosing what truly matters, even when it's hard, even when it's tempting to give up. Many ancient philosophers, especially the Stoics in places like Greece, saw discipline as a path to a different kind of freedom. Not freedom to do anything without thinking, but freedom from things that hold you back. Freedom from sudden impulses, from distractions, from things that don't help you grow. They believed that by training your mind, by making small, consistent choices, you could build a powerful inner world. A world where you are the captain, not just a passenger tossed by every wave. Think about a musician. They don't just wake up one day playing a beautiful song. They practice every day, scales, chords, difficult pieces. That's discipline. It's not a punishment. It's a deep commitment to getting better, to mastering their craft. And the reward, the pure joy of creating music, of expressing themselves in a way that moves others, connecting with something bigger. Or consider an athlete training for a big race. They stick to a schedule, eat right, push their limits. That takes discipline. It's not about being forced, but about wanting to achieve something amazing, something deeply meaningful to them. It's a gentle, steady hand on the rudder of your own lifeboat. It helps you steer through rough waters, not because someone told you to, but because you know where you want to go, and you trust yourself to get there. So, maybe discipline isn't about harshness at all. Maybe it's about a deep kindness to your future self. It's a quiet promise you make to yourself every single day, to show up, to try, to build. And that promise, kept over time, builds more than just skills. It builds courage and a deep, quiet pride in who you are becoming. What makes a good government? A very old question. Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes a community work? Not just your family or friends, but an entire city, or even a whole country. It's a heavy thought, isn't it? We all want to feel safe, to be treated fairly, to grow into who we are meant to be. But how do we build a system that makes those things possible for everyone? This question, what makes a good government, is not new at all. It's one of the oldest questions humans have asked. Thousands of years ago, long before phones or cars, thinkers like Plato and Aristotle sat under olive trees, wrestling with this very idea. They wondered what kind of leaders would be wise and fair. They dreamed about rules that would help people flourish, not hold them back. They saw that a society could be built like a fragile house, needing strong foundations and careful hands. Here's the thing. A good government is like the perfect coach for a sports team. A great coach doesn't just tell people what to do. They listen, they set clear rules that make sense. They help each player get better, believing in their potential, making sure everyone feels valued and protected. When the coach focuses on fairness and helping every player succeed, the whole team performs better. They trust, they work together, even when things get tough. And when a government works like that for its people, it creates a feeling deep inside us, a sense of belonging, a quiet hope. It lets us breathe easier, knowing there's order, a purpose beyond ourselves. It means our ideas matter, and our future is something we can shape. The search for this ideal, this gentle balance, is a journey humanity is still on. A silent promise whispered across centuries, a dream that never really dies. How to deal with being different. Have you ever looked around and felt like you just didn't quite fit in? Like you were a different puzzle piece, maybe a star in a world of circles? That feeling can feel heavy, can't it? Being different means your thoughts, your feelings, your way of seeing the world might not match others. Here's the thing, that's not a flaw. It's actually a quiet strength. Think about the old philosophers, the ones who spent their lives just thinking. Many were called strange or odd. Socrates, for example, questioned everything around him, even obvious truths. He stood out, but because he dared to be different, to think differently, he sparked ideas that changed the world. This shows us that sometimes, the most important voices don't blend in. Imagine a beautiful forest. What makes it amazing? Not just rows of identical trees, right? It's the tall pines, the small bushes, the winding rivers, the unique rocks. Each part is different, but together, they make something special. Your unique qualities are like that. They add to the richness of the world. So, when you feel that tug of being different, try to pause. Think of it not as a problem, but as your own quiet power. It lets you see things others miss. It lets you feel things in a way that is just yours. It gives you a unique voice. Embracing who you are, truly and deeply, means you're not trying to force yourself into a shape that doesn't fit. It's about understanding that your particular way of being is not just okay, but needed. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more originals. And you, in all your differentness, are exactly that. You are an original. The philosopher who knew about taking care of yourself. Have you ever felt completely drained, like your inner battery is empty? Or maybe your thoughts feel like a tangled mess you can't sort out? Centuries ago, a philosopher named Epictetus understood this feeling deeply. He was once a slave, then became a great teacher. Epictetus wasn't talking about outer relaxation, like a bubble bath. He spoke of something much deeper, taking care of your inner self. He believed true well-being comes from inside you. Here's the thing, we can't always control what happens to us. We can't stop a difficult test from happening, or someone from saying something unkind, but we can control how we react. We choose how these things affect our minds and our feelings. His teachings, part of a philosophy called Stoicism, focused on what was truly in our power, our thoughts, our choices, our effort. He saw self-care as guarding your character, your wisdom, your peace. He said, your mind is your most precious space. Protect it carefully. Think of your mind like your phone. You can't control every notification that pops up, right? but you can control if it distracts you. You choose what apps to open, what notifications to silence. In the same way, you decide what thoughts to give power to, what worries to dwell on, and what peace to protect. It's about charging your mental battery, not letting negative thoughts drain it. Epictetus teaches us that real strength isn't about avoiding problems. It's about building a calm, strong space inside yourself. Even when the outside world feels chaotic, you can find quiet strength within, and that's why it matters. This inner peace is the most important self-care. It helps you stand tall, no matter what comes your way. Why being present matters more than the past or future. Have you ever noticed how much time we spend thinking about what already happened, or what might happen next? It's like our minds are always time traveling, jumping to yesterday's mistake, or tomorrow's big test. But here's the thing, the only real moment we ever truly have is this one, right now. The past is already done, fixed in time. The future isn't here yet, and it might change 100 times before it even arrives. So, if we live mostly in those other times, we miss out on our actual lives unfolding right in front of us. Ancient thinkers, like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, understood this deeply. He believed that our power lies in the present moment, nowhere else. He taught that we have power over our minds, not over outside events. Realize this, he said, and you will find strength. He meant that we can't change yesterday, and we can't fully control tomorrow. But we can choose how we feel and what we do right now. That's where our true freedom lives. In this very second. Think about playing a video game. If you're constantly thinking about the boss battle you failed yesterday, or the next level you're worried about, you're not seeing the enemies right in front of you. You're not truly enjoying the current challenge. You're not fully aware of the sounds, the actions, the excitement of this moment. So, you make mistakes, or you just don't have fun. The game is happening now, and if you're not present, you lose. Our lives are a bit like that game. Being present means noticing the sunlight on your desk, the sound of a bird outside, the taste of your lunch. It means truly listening when a friend talks, instead of planning your reply. It's about letting go of what you can't change, and not getting caught up in worries about what's to come. It's about finding peace and power in the quiet simplicity of now. And that's why it matters so much. When you are fully here, you are truly alive. The idea that everything happens for a reason, or does it? Closing parenthesis. The idea that everything happens for a reason, or does it? Have you ever felt really disappointed? Maybe something you hoped for didn't work out, or a plan suddenly fell apart. In those moments, someone might have gently told you, everything happens for a reason. It's a powerful idea, isn't it? This thought suggests that even the tough, confusing, or sad things in our lives aren't just random. Instead, they're part of a bigger picture, like invisible pieces fitting into a puzzle we can't quite see yet. For thousands of years, people have wondered about this. Ancient thinkers, long ago, saw patterns in the world. They felt that if the sun rose and seasons changed, there must be an order, a hidden purpose for every event. It's a way our minds try to find comfort and meaning when things feel chaotic or unfair. It's like believing there's a secret map, and every twist and turn, even the wrong ones, leads somewhere important. Think about a time you really wanted to go to a concert or a school trip, and then it got cancelled. You felt a wave of sadness, right? But what if, because that happened, you ended up spending the weekend with a family member you hadn't seen in ages, and you made a new, unexpected memory that turned out to be really special? Or maybe you picked up a new hobby because your original plan was gone. In that moment, the cancellation felt like a bad thing. Later, it might look like it opened a different door. But here's the thing. Sometimes, truly terrible things happen, and it feels impossible to find a reason for them. And that's okay. We don't always need to force a positive outcome on every hard moment. What if the reason isn't a grand design, but simply how we choose to move forward after something happens? Maybe it's about the strength we find, or the lessons we learn, or the kindness we show ourselves and others in the aftermath. It's a deep thought. Even when the world feels broken, we can still build something beautiful in its place. How to stay positive when things go wrong. Have you ever felt that sinking feeling when everything just seems to fall apart around you? Maybe a test went terribly, or a friend let you down, or something you really hoped for just didn't happen. It's easy to feel lost then, isn't it? To let the darkness creep in and tell you it's pointless. But here's the thing about things going wrong. It's not the end. It's often just the start of a different, unexpected chapter. Long ago, Thinkers like the Stoics in ancient Greece and Rome faced even harder times. They didn't have much control over their world. Wars, sickness, sudden changes, these were daily fears. But they understood something profound. They said you can't always control what happens to you, but you absolutely can control how you react to it. It's like a quiet superpower hidden within you. Think about a small seed. It needs to be buried in the dark, under pressure, sometimes in harsh soil, before it pushes through and becomes something beautiful. These wrong conditions often kickstart its growth. Or, imagine building a model. A piece breaks, or you put something together wrong. It's frustrating, but you learn from that mistake. You figure out a better way. That wrong step becomes a lesson, making the final model stronger because you understood its weak points. This isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging the hurt, the frustration, the sadness, then choosing how to carry it. It's about knowing that even when a storm rages, the sun still exists above the clouds. And that's why it matters. Inside every moment of struggle, there's an invitation. Find your quiet strength. Learn something new about yourself, and build a resilience that serves you long after the difficulties fade. It's a chance to grow your spirit, bending but not breaking, until you stand taller than before. What if we all thought alike? Why, that's bad. Imagine for a moment, if every single person on earth saw the world exactly the same way. What if everyone loved the same music, believed the same things, even dressed alike? At first, it might sound peaceful, like no arguments ever. But here's the thing, it would be a quiet, unmoving world. No new ideas, nothing exciting. Life would lack the very spark that makes things change and grow. When everyone thinks alike, there's no push for newness. No one questions old ways. No one dreams up anything new. Think about history. Many of our greatest steps forward happened because someone dared to see things differently. Imagine if everyone had agreed the earth was flat forever. We'd be stuck. If no one asked hard questions, like the ancient Greek philosophers, we'd miss out on so much learning. It's a bit like a forest. If every tree was the exact same type, say, only oak trees, it might look neat. But if a disease came along that attacked oak trees, the entire forest would be gone. Now, picture a forest with many kinds of trespines, maples, birches. If one disease hits the oaks, the other trees still stand. They keep the forest strong. Our minds work like that. Different ideas are like different trees, making our forest of thought strong and able to adapt. So, our disagreements, our different ways of seeing things, aren't always easy, but they are incredibly important. They are the quiet hum of progress, the colorful threads woven into our shared human story. Our differences let us learn, grow, and create new wonders. Understanding that difference is a source of strength, not weakness, is a profound thought to carry with you. The ancient secret to self-control. Have you ever felt like there's a tiny voice inside you, telling you to do one thing, but your body or your immediate feelings want to do something else entirely? Maybe it's about finishing homework when your video game is calling, or maybe it's not saying something you'll regret when you're really angry. We all want to be able to make smart choices, but sometimes it feels like our impulses are just too strong. Here's the thing. Ancient philosophers understood this struggle deeply. For thousands of years, people like the Stoics in ancient Greece and Rome talked about something called self-control. They didn't see it as being boring or strict. Instead, they saw it as the ultimate form of freedom. They believed that while you can't always control what happens to you, you absolutely can control how you react to it. Think about it like this. Imagine your mind is a garden. Thoughts and feelings are like seeds. Some are beautiful flowers, and some are stubborn weeds. Self-control isn't about stopping the weeds from ever appearing. It's about deciding which seeds you will water and help grow, and which ones you'll gently pull out. For example, when you're tempted to scroll through social media instead of studying for a big test, that's a moment. You feel the pull, but here's what happens. Self-control is that pause. It's the choice to remember your goal, to put the phone down, and to open the book. It's like a muscle you exercise. The more you choose, the harder, better path. The stronger that self-controlled muscle gets. This understanding brings a quiet kind of power. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning to steer your own ship, even when the ocean gets choppy. And that's why it matters. It means you get to decide who you are, not just what your impulses tell you to be. It helps you feel more at peace, more truly yourself. Why you should question authority respectfully. Have you ever wondered if something you were told was truly right? Not because you doubted the person, but because a little voice inside you just wanted to understand more deeply. This isn't about being rebellious or disrespectful. It's about something far more important, thinking for yourself to question authority. Respectfully means you engage your own mind. It means you don't just accept ideas or rules without first thinking them through, asking if they feel fair or true. It's about seeking understanding, not just blind obedience. Blindly following can make us miss new truths or better ways. Think about how people once believed the earth was flat. All the authorities of the time said so. But brave thinkers, like Galileo, questioned that idea. They looked at the stars, found evidence, and showed us a truer picture of our universe. Their questions changed how we see our place. Here's the thing, it's like a math formula. You can use it, but when you really question why it works, you don't just memorize it, you truly get it. You understand the numbers, the logic behind them, and that understanding stays with you. This isn't about arguing or being rude. It's about asking why, or how do we know this? It's about finding courage to politely say, let's explore this, or I'm curious about this part. When you learn to respectfully question, you're building a stronger mind. You're learning to lead with curiosity. This helps you figure out the world for yourself, to build your own beliefs on solid ground, not just on what someone else tells you. And that's a beautiful, powerful thing. It makes you a more thoughtful person, someone who seeks real truth and contributes to a kinder, more knowing world. The philosopher who knew about the cycle of life. Have you ever noticed how everything in life moves in circles? A day turns to night, then back to day. Seasons change, from spring to winter, then spring again. An ancient Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, saw this around 500 BC. He watched the world closely and realized change isn't just something that happens. It's what everything is. Heraclitus famously said, you can't step into the same river twice. Think about it. When you step out and back in, new water flows past. Even the riverbed shifts. For him, nothing truly stands still. Everything is always moving, always becoming new, even if it looks the same. He understood that life and death, beginnings and endings, aren't separate. They are one continuous flow. Think of a seed falling to the ground, disappearing into the soil. But from that seed, a new plant sprouts, grows, and makes its own seeds. Then it wilts, returning to earth, feeding new life. This isn't just about plants. It's about our emotions, too. Sometimes we feel very sad, and it seems that sadness will never end. But then, new feelings emerge, happiness or calm. Our friendships change, our interests shift. That's the cycle happening inside us. Heraclitus wanted us to see that endings aren't just final goodbyes, they are often quiet beginnings. When we understand this, letting go feels less scary. It reminds us that even when things end, life keeps flowing, creating new paths and chances. Just like the river that never stops moving. How to find your inner strength. Have you ever felt a moment when the world seemed too loud, or a problem felt too big to handle? Maybe you felt a little lost, wondering where you'd find the courage to keep going. This feeling, this quiet uncertainty, is something everyone knows. But here's the thing, you already hold a powerful, steady light inside you. It's not something you buy or find under a rock. It's your inner strength. It's not about being super tough on the outside, like a superhero with big muscles. Instead, it's a calm, deep power that lives in your mind and your heart. It's what helps you stand firm when things get shaky. Think about the ancient philosophers, people like Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced huge challenges. He didn't just fight battles. He wrote about finding peace within himself. No matter how chaotic the world around him became, he understood that true strength came from controlling his own thoughts and reactions, not what happened to him. Here's an example. Imagine you're trying to learn a new skill, like playing a complicated piece on a musical instrument, or maybe speaking up in class when you're shy. At first, it feels impossible. You make mistakes, you get frustrated, but then, something deep inside tells you to try again. You practice, you make progress, little by little. That quiet voice, that persistence that keeps you going even when it's hard, that's your inner strength working. It's like a deep root that keeps a tree standing in a strong wind. The tree doesn't fight the wind, it simply holds on, knowing its roots run deep. So, how do you find this strength? You don't have to search far. It's often found in quiet moments, in trusting yourself, and in the small acts of bravery you show every day. It's always been there, a gentle, unwavering whisper guiding you. Just remember, even when things feel dark, your inner light is ready to shine. You just need to let it. The idea that we're all connected. Have you ever felt completely alone, like you're just one small person in a vast, busy world? It's a feeling we all know sometimes. But what if that feeling isn't the whole story? Think about it. What if every single one of us, every tree, every tiny insect, every whisper of wind, is actually part of something much bigger? This isn't just a nice thought. Many wise people, for thousands of years, have believed it's how the world truly works. They saw that nothing really stands alone. Ancient thinkers, long before our time, looked at nature and saw how everything depended on something else. A plant needs soil, and the soil needs rain. The rain comes from clouds, and the clouds form because of the sun. They understood that life is like a giant, invisible web. If you touch one strand, the whole web shivers. Here's the thing. You can see this in your own life. Imagine you throw a small pebble into a calm pond. What happens? Rings spread out, right? Those ripples travel far, touching every part of the pond. Your actions, your words, even your mood are like those pebbles. They create ripples. If you're kind to someone, that kindness doesn't just stop there. It can make that person feel better, and they might carry that good feeling to someone else. It spreads that, so we are not just separate islands. We are all deeply connected, like threads in a giant, beautiful tapestry. Your existence matters. Your choices matter. And knowing this can bring a quiet comfort, a sense that you belong, and that your smallest act can send out the biggest ripples into the world. You are a crucial part of everything. Why doing your duty can make you happy. Have you ever wondered why? After doing something difficult but necessary, a quiet feeling of peace settles over you. It's not the kind of loud, excited happiness from getting a new game. It's deeper. It feels solid, like you've earned it. This is often the happiness that comes from doing your duty. Here's the thing. Duty isn't just about chores or rules. It's about answering the call of your own inner compass. It's knowing what's right and choosing that path, even when it's hard. Imagine an old philosopher named Immanuel Kant. He believed that when we do something because we truly know it's the right thing, not just for a reward or to avoid punishment, that's when our actions have the most meaning. He thought this kind of pure intention made us truly good and in turn allowed for a deeper, more lasting kind of happiness. Think about a time you saw someone being treated unfairly. Maybe you felt a knot in your stomach, but you spoke up anyway. Or maybe you stayed late to help a friend with a project, even though you were tired. In that moment, it might have felt inconvenient or even scary, but afterward, there's a certain calm, a sense of quiet pride. It's like a puzzle piece clicking into place inside you. You aligned your actions with your best self. And that's why it matters. When you do your duty, you build trust with yourself. You learn you can rely on your own moral strength. This isn't about always being perfect. It's about trying, about choosing to act with integrity. And maybe, just maybe, that steady, honest way of living is one of the most powerful roads to a happiness that truly stays. What makes a moment truly special? Have you ever stopped to really think about what makes a moment truly special? It's a strange question, but a good one to ask. Here's the thing. It's not always the huge things, like a birthday or a big trip. Sometimes, the most special moments are tiny. They're easy to miss if we're not paying attention. Ancient thinkers, from places like Greece, talked a lot about living in the now. They believed happiness wasn't just about getting what you want, but about truly feeling what's around you. They thought that when you are fully present, even a simple thing can feel deep. For them, a special moment was less about what happened and more about how deeply you felt it. Think about sitting on your porch, watching rainfall and smelling wet earth. Or maybe it's that moment you finally understand a tough math problem you've struggled with. Or laughing so hard with a friend your stomach hurts, forgetting everything for a few seconds. What made those moments stick with you? It wasn't just the rain itself, or just the math answer. It was how you felt inside them, a sense of peace, a rush of understanding, a burst of pure joy. It's the quiet hum of connection, the feeling of being truly alive and aware. It's when time seems to slow down, just for a second, and you feel a little more connected to everything. These moments aren't just random. They're often when our minds quiet down and our hearts open up. They are like little gifts we give ourselves when we let go of worries and just be. So here's what I found. Maybe special moments aren't found. Maybe they're created, not by changing the world around us, but by changing how we see it, even for a short time. and that's why it matters to notice them. They remind us of the beauty in just being alive. How to deal with popularity or lack of it. How to deal with popularity or lack of it. Do you ever wonder why some people seem to shine brightly, always surrounded, while others feel like shadows, mostly unseen? It's a strange feeling, this pull of popularity, or the quiet ache of not having it. Here's the thing, all of us, deep down, want to matter. We want to be noticed, to belong. But what if being noticed isn't the only way to matter? Long ago, thinkers in ancient Greece understood this feeling. They watched how people chased fame or struggled with being overlooked, and they taught a simple, profound idea. Your worth isn't decided by how many people cheer for you, or even by how many know your name. It comes from within you. They said true peace isn't found in the crowd's approval, but in being a good person, in building your own strong character. Think about a quiet tree in a vast forest. It might not be the tallest, or have the brightest flowers, but its roots run deep, giving strength to the earth. It gives shade, shelter, and breathes life into the world, doing its important job. Even if no one is pointing it out as the most popular tree, it simply is, and its quiet work makes the whole forest stronger, and that's why it matters. Whether you find yourself in the spotlight or in a quiet corner, your unique light is still there. Your value isn't a number on a social media post, or the size of your friend group. It's the quiet strength you carry, the kindness you show, the dreams you hold close. So, let your roots grow deep. Be true to yourself, and know that your quiet contribution, your true self, is always enough. The philosopher who understood boredom. Have you ever just felt ... empty? Not sad, not mad, but like there's nothing interesting happening, and even less interesting things to do. You're just waiting for something, anything, to change. That feeling, that heavy quietness, is what a philosopher named Søren Kierkegaard thought about a lot. He was from Denmark, over 100 years ago. And here's the thing, he didn't see boredom as just a small annoyance, like waiting in a long line. He saw it as something much deeper, a kind of wound in the soul. Kierkegaard believed that boredom wasn't about having nothing to do, but about feeling like nothing matters. It's a restless state, where we seek constant newness, always trying to fill an inner void. But that search often leaves us more empty, moving from one distraction to another. He thought this deep boredom could make us restless, sometimes leading to bad choices just to feel something. Think about it like this. You're at home on a super long, sunny summer day. You've played all your games, scrolled through everything online, and still, that heavy feeling sits with you. You're not looking for a specific show or activity. You're just looking for anything to make the time pass, to make you feel less unengaged. You might even find yourself staring at a wall, just because there's nothing else. That's the kind of profound boredom Kierkegaard was talking about. It's not just a lack of entertainment, it's a lack of connection to something meaningful, and that's why it matters. Maybe boredom isn't just a sign that you need to find a new video game. Maybe it's a quiet whisper, telling you to look deeper. It could be an invitation to truly think, to create something new, or to find out what truly lights up your world. Instead of just waiting for the next thing to come along, it's a chance to listen to what your own heart really wants. Why our imagination is so powerful. Have you ever just sat there, maybe staring out a window, and suddenly your mind takes off? You're not quite thinking about what's in front of you. Instead, you're picturing a different scenario, a conversation you wish you'd had, or even a whole new world. That's your imagination, and it's a quiet, powerful force. Here's the thing, imagination isn't just about making up stories. It's how we see possibilities that aren't real yet. It's the ability to form pictures and ideas in our minds, even when those things aren't physically present. This isn't just a fun trick, it's fundamental to being human. Long ago, people didn't just look at a rough stone, they imagined a tool. They didn't just see scattered tribes, they imagined cities and communities. This power to imagine the what-if is what built everything around us. Philosophers like Plato even talked about how our imagination helps us grasp higher truths, ideas that go beyond what we can just touch and see. Think about it like this. When you're building something with Ellie, you don't just put bricks together randomly. You first imagine what you want to build: a spaceship, a castle, a secret base. You see it in your mind before your hands even start moving. That's your imagination guiding you. Or, when you hear a new song, your imagination lets you picture a story or a feeling that fits the music. It lets you step into someone else's shoes and understand their feelings. So, Your imagination isn't just for daydreams. It's a tool for creation, for understanding, and for empathy. It lets us hope for a better future, design new things, and solve problems no one has figured out yet. It's a quiet strength inside you, a personal universe always ready to explore, and that's why it matters. The idea that every end is a new beginning, isn't it curious how sometimes, when one door closes, another one really does open? We often see an end as just that, a final stop, a goodbye. But what if every single ending we experience is actually a hidden beginning? This is an idea that people have pondered for thousands of years, long before our time. Ancient philosophers, watching the seasons turn or the sun rise and set, saw cycles everywhere. They understood that death in nature brings new life, that winter's cold gives way to spring's bloom. It wasn't about despair. It was about understanding the natural rhythm of things, the constant flow of change. Think about a caterpillar. For a while, it munches on leaves, growing bigger and bigger. Its life as a caterpillar eventually comes to an end. It builds a chrysalis, a quiet, still place. To an outside observer, it might look like everything has stopped, that the caterpillar's story is over. But inside that chrysalis, something incredible is happening. The caterpillar is changing, transforming, not just resting. And then, a new beginning. A butterfly emerges, with wings ready for flight, a completely different form of life. Its journey isn't truly over. It has simply shifted into something new. This idea helps us when we face our own endings. Maybe a friendship changes, or you move to a new town, or a favorite hobby isn't fun anymore. Those moments can feel sad, like a loss. But what if those endings are simply clearing the path for something new to grow? What if they are the chrysalis moments in our own lives? It's about seeing the potential for what comes next, even when we can't quite see it yet. It reminds us that even when things feel finished, the story of life, and our own personal stories, always continue to unfold. There is always a fresh page waiting. How old ideas still help us live our best lives. Have you ever felt really stuck, like you just don't know what to do next? Or maybe you've wondered how to deal with all the big feelings that pop up. It might surprise you, but people who lived thousands of years ago felt the exact same way. They didn't have phones or social media, but they worried about friendship, finding happiness, and how to be a truly good person. And some of their ideas, they're like secret maps that can still help us today. Think about the ancient Greeks, like philosophers named Plato or Aristotle, or even Roman thinkers called Stoics, such as Seneca. They spent their lives thinking deeply about questions that still bother us. How do you find joy when things are tough? How do you stay calm when everything feels chaotic? These wise people found answers that are still useful, even after centuries. Here's the thing. Imagine you're super stressed about a big test coming up, or maybe someone said something really unkind online, and it just keeps playing in your head. It feels huge, right? Well, an old idea from these philosophers is about figuring out what you actually can control. You can't control the exact questions on the test, but you can control how much you study. You can't control what someone else posts about you, but you can control how you react to it, or if you even let it bother you. It's like having a steady anchor in a stormy sea. It helps you stay grounded, and that's why it matters. These old ideas aren't just dusty words in old books. They're like gentle whispers from the past, reminding us we're not alone in our struggles. They offer wisdom, not as strict rules, but as helpful guides for our own lives. They show us ways to build a stronger mind, understand our own emotions, and choose kindness, even when it feels hard. It's a powerful, comforting thought, knowing that hearts from long ago felt similar aches and found paths toward light. They understood today, a little bit.